Friday night split, so cue up the stream. Culture clashes, wild theories and wildest dreams. Tune in for the secrets and the side-eye truths. We're spinning the groove, no rules, just you. Just you. Shake up the playlist, let the fun collide. From deep conspiracies to what's trending worldwide. Pour out the stories, let the wild thoughts roam. Tonight we're making every party might go home. Raise some eyebrows, challenge what you know. Blow up the chat, let the weirdness flow. This is the Unfiltered Friday groove. Culture conspiracies, let's make our own truth. Laughs and legends, spinning high. Every take is welcome, don't be shy. No filters, just hot opinions. Join the stream, start new traditions. We sit while we decode the stories and trends. What's fact, what's fiction, it all just blends. Strange histories and party debates. Full conversation, it's never too late. Hand claps, wild theories, let the dance begin. Unfiltered ideas, here everyone wins. Cheers for the bold, the curious, the free. It's a culture party, just you and me. This is the Unfiltered Friday groove. Culture conspiracies, let's make our own truth. Laughs and legends, spinning high. Every take is welcome, don't be shy. No filters, just hot opinions. Join the stream, start new traditions. Glass raised for the sign off now. One last toast and a wacky vow. Keep it strange, keep it loose. Till next week, chase your weirdest truth. Charlotte's Truth.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Hey, I see you two bickering.
That is right. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. What's up, people? Welcome to the Triple B.
Bodycast.
I wish this thing had like a fade out instead of just an auto stop. Feels more professional with the fade out. What's happening, people? I know nobody's here yet, but we're here for a little bit.
They're here. They're existing.
They're
We just
existing.
don't know they're here. Yeah.
They're part of
They're in
the.
the ether. Yeah.
So you remind me of that dude Chet.
They're on the
Yeah.
ether.
Yeah, yeah. You get it, girl.
Good girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
As my
Yeah. Yeah.
as my pink vacuums in the background. Get it, girl.
You get it, girl.
My famous saying now is sure. Sure. You'll hear that several times today. I picked up a new catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Get it, girl.
I was waiting.
I think he did. I think they put that's all. It's like one of those, one of those earworm things. You're never going to get it out of your system because it's just, it's too natural. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get it, girl.
So, I got something I want to chat about with you guys.
Okay.
It's kind of random.
We love
Kinda
random.
Cool. Kind of a slight conspiracy that has nothing to do with banks. Well, everything has to do with banks, but not going to make that connection. Okay. So I was listening to another podcast. I'm not name dropping. So we had in the northern Pacific side of the country, there was a lot of serial killers in like the 30s and 20s, and going up from there. There was somebody made a connection between serial killers and lead, right? Lead poisoning, stuff like that. Okay. So to clarify, if you have any sort of lead in your system, it's bad for you. All right, it's scientifically proven. It's bad for you. All right.
We grew up on lead. What the fuck?
Yeah. So here's another connection, right? So in World War II, we had lead gasoline, right?
Mhm.
Well, there was plants out there that had to manufacture the lead gasoline. Well, there's a conspiracy behind. There was a guy that created unleaded gasoline and tried to get it passed to get the what's the government thing to my brain fried, but he tried to put it through government to create this new product, right?
Mhm.
And another company pretty much paid off Congress people and local officials to stop it, you know? And you have these plants and smelters out here that would be forming this gas, forming these, lead products. It would seep into the ground and everything like that, into the air, because there was no real EPA back in the day. And right now, EPA is getting defunded, but that's government. We don't like to talk politics here. But there's a slight connection with serial killers growing up next to these plants of lead producing or byproducts of manufacturing whatever that produce lead into the air, into the water, into the ground. And this lady wrote a book about it. I think it's called Murderland. And there's possibly a connection there where people that were around these plants, and not all of them, obviously, we're not crazy, but there's a connection with these individuals that were either working at these plants, lived very close to these plants, that would turn out doing some arsenic bullshit to people's houses. There was there's just a ton of evidence out there stating like it's a potential that these people that grew around there and that lead poisoning got into their blood and made them crazy. And then they went on these murdering sprees and made them just nuts.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. Not necessarily. Is that a fart sound?
Sorry, he said gaseous earlier, so I was like, I'm going to put a fart sound on there.
That was awesome. I'm sure it wasn't have nothing to do with they had a bad upbringing or anything, but
sure.
Come on. Lead in everything though. Like literally lead weight in.
Why do you think
fishing just got banned like 4 years ago?
Maybe that's why you're nuts.
Wow.
I
wish that was.
Maybe that's why I'm nuts from lead pencils and shit, dude. Here's the thing though. Like, it's all about driven profits over the safety of the
of course
persons around the locations of these things being manufactured. These things aren't processed correctly. They're, obviously restrictions are bad for, production and advancements, sure. And I think that
it kind of makes sense because one of the key psychological impacts, childhood exposure to lead is linked to high rates of depression, mania, phobia, schizophrenia, general psychopathology, including increased neuroticism, anxiety, emotional stability, volatility.
Maybe that kind of? Is there like anxiety involved in there too,
Oh,
or
definitely. Probably ADHD, probably everything.
yeah, yeah? So like we grew
Aggression,
up,
risky behaviors, impaired impulse
yeah,
control.
which is crazy, right? Like we there was whole fucking
Now
thing
explains everything. Now you just made me
Stupid mother effers.
goddamn water hoses.
It's all your fault.
It's because we drank from water hoses. It's our parents' fault because they locked us out of the house and only made us fucking drink from water hoses.
So what about that fluoride in the water too?
I heard something about they're not going to take that out now.
Well, there's been studies showing that fluoride in excess fluoride's bad for you.
Yeah.
Just 'cause
Well,
that's why they make
there's a certain
toothpaste with
percentage of
fluoride.
fluoride that's okay for you, but
says
it's
who?
not.
The government?
Well, you have fluoride in your toothpaste, don't you?
Why do they have non-fluorided toothpaste?
Wow. But your number one.
And it's bad
biggest
for
seller
animals.
is
You're not supposed
fluoride
to because
toothpaste.
you're not supposed to give your animals tap water.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, to say it's not, putting any excess chemicals and shit into your water is bad for you.
Yeah.
Why we just presumptuously assume that it's okay?
When I put a water treatment plant in my house to get rid of chemicals, I have
filtration.
So,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's what we use. We use
But most
we
people
got
in
one of those
cities
little-
don't have that access, right?
Yeah.
If
We
you're
got
like
one of
on
those-
a well system or a town system, you have to put in a huge system compared to what I have to do being on a well. Because all I have to contain is my water. If you're on a town system, you got to worry about like bleach or chlorine.
Have you been
And
around a
all
water
that crap.
treatment plant, dude?
Oh, it stinks.
ours stinks.
Oh, it stinks.
It's rancid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It
deliver
smells
to
like
it
it smells like a
Really?
sewer plant.
every other week.
Well,
It's
I
just
think
like-
that's how what water they filter, bro, and that's what's
Yeah.
being sent through your fucking house.
It might be.
I filter my water, drinking water. I don't drink tap water. I filter it through a Brita, which who knows? Maybe it doesn't fucking get rid of everything.
It
We don't
does.
know.
Well, not everything. I think
Well,
there's still some
But
things that
most of those chemicals and shit like that. That's why it's good to change your filters and make sure you get it right. But that's just insane that they would rather put profits over the human beings that are surrounding. Dude, so there was a lawsuit that went on with this plant that was creating this lead, and it's like they seriously had lawyers come over to their plant and discuss on their profits, and if people would sue them, how much would each individual person in that town
Get.
would cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's not. It's okay. We'll still make money.
What happened? That's exactly what happened. And guess what? They're not there anymore, but the remnants are there. And guess what was built on top of them? That area. Rental properties.
Nope. Well,
Isn't that fucking insane?
I totally forgot. We have a little town here in Oklahoma that used to be like I can't remember.
Nice tan line.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, what the fuck? Sith, Oklahoma, is it? No, where's that one? Stinter.
I mean, stories like that, bro, all across the country. And it's so sad that these companies have millions upon millions. You know, what's sad is that these people in that area are consumers of that product, and they would rather just, what's your life worth? You know, that's seriously what they did and still do.
Yeah.
You know, what's your life worth? Oh, $7 million? Nah. We made that last month.
We made that yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's our exported fucking leaded gasoline. I always wondered why they would say unleaded gasoline. Why do
Well, there's no lead in it.
Yeah, but why do they call it that? I hope there's
Picture.
no lead in it.
Well, back in the day, there was.
Why can't they just call it gasoline if it's healthy? It's okay.
Well, I mean, it's just like people are crazy. So, people get to the point where they buy the premium and the plus gas.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking gas. It's just mixed together.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
'Cause
Where the
if
pipes actually combine in the back of it,
Yeah.
and
I
then
mean-
they just mix it.
No, it's just there's 3 tanks, and then when you hit the premium button,
Yeah.
all 3 of the gases go to that one pump.
Yeah. It's just you got the two. Well, you have a
You're
higher.
you're basically getting less water in your gas. When you get regular, you're getting some of the water. That's like every gas station has this pump filtration to suck out water because it produces water, and there's water in tanks. It's underground, and then it pumps out the water to this filtration system. And then when you hit the different grades, you're getting less water, basically. Like, you ever notice if you get premium, you only get, like, say you get 583 gallons off of your tank off of regular. You hit premium, you're only getting like 596.
So get this. Talking about lead, there's a town here in Oklahoma that has been abandoned for years, and it's Pitcher, Oklahoma, Picher. It used to be the heart of U.S. lead and zinc mining. Produced over $20 billion in ore between 1917 and 1947.
Wow.
That's exactly the times, dude. Now, let me ask you this. Ask it, how many
Well, hold on.
serial killers grew up in that area?
Well, hold on, but the mining. This is what I'm saying. This town still exists. It's still there. People still live in it. Just I think there's only like a population of maybe 200, but it used to be like a population of 15,000, 20,000 back in the day. And let's see.
Did they leave because they're sick, or is the mining left there, and those people are like, "Fuck it, we're staying."
Yeah, it said Pitcher dropped from 14,000 residents in 1920 to just 20 by 2010. So it only has 20 people right now.
Wow.
Lead, dust, and ground instability made staying deadly. No, so when they started that area, when they started mining, there wasn't a lot of mining regulations and stuff, and a lot of like we do now. You go out and spend 2-3 years geographicing everything before you actually start drilling.
Yeah.
So it ended up. What ended up happening is things started caving in. Roads started caving in and everything else, and
that sounds like our area.
And then it's kind of like down there in what is it?
That's the one that has the coal burning underneath the.
No, that's in Virginia or West Virginia.
That's in that's what I was gonna say. That's just like that one coal mine that's been burning since
like
50s,
dude.
Since like World War I, it's been burning.
But no, so when this closed down, they left the chat piles, which is what you get from when you pull out all the lead and the zinc and everything else. It's like the aftermath.
Yeah,
kind of like silt from concrete.
Yeah.
So they've got these mounds and mounds of, still to today. You drive by, there's chat piles out there, and the chat is toxic. And it's been blowing every time it blows around. Just nobody does anything about it.
So let me ask you this: why haven't they? I mean, EPA has been giving billions, maybe even trillions of dollars since its embarkment in probably the 60s or 70s. So why haven't they done anything about this shit that happened in the US? Like, this
doesn't make that money.
Well, that's not their purpose, right? Them making money. Well, I guess
they're not getting kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies and shit like that. to, take care of the problem.
So there was, at the time, there was 120 to 178 million tons of chat. Today, as of today, there's still over 100 million tons of chat in those piles.
That's
It says chat contains high levels of metals, lead, cadmium, zinc, and arsenic, both making removal and disposal hazardous to workers and the environment.
Yeah.
Well,
Arsenic's super bad, dude.
yeah.
And
There's
those
towns in
those people that
France
live
or-
there in this area, are they like, do they have like town water, or is it well water?
Well, I don't even know. There's only 20 of them that live there. I'm sure it's probably like workers and stuff. Because I mean, they're still trying to remove it. They just can't. There's not a lot of place to dispose of it. So
Put a fucking railroad in there and get the fucking shit out of there.
where are you going to put it? You're just going to move it to another area and dump it in a pile somewhere else? I
Give
mean,
it to China.
it's not
China
very
has
easy
their
to
own
dispose
fucking
of.
problems, and they don't give a shit about humans.
What about just put it back in the hole that it came from?
And then it's disintegrating into the ground, getting into the groundwater again.
It's already there.
Yeah,
Well,
but yeah, it's
I'm not a
crazy.
scientist. I don't know how to deal with these issues, but I can assure you, putting it back into the ground.
Well,
It's-
we didn't know it was an issue before we dug it up, right? Dig it up,
No,
cover
we
it.
didn't. We
So
didn't
you're
know.
saying if I don't see it, it doesn't exist?
Well, it's just
I mean,
No.
I'm not trying to blame you. This is just how the American people are. If it's not affecting me, it doesn't exist in my life, right? So, what my point was with all this is like that's insane that the government allowed this and procured this to continue even after people complained and all these policies. EPA was founded, and we just led. I mean, there wasn't and up accountability with this one, bro. There wasn't that much science on it either,
No.
right?
I wonder what the cancer rate or like birth defect or Down syndrome rate is in that area compared to some other parts of the country.
It's Northern Pacific area, and I think you can look it up. The book was Murderland, and this lady spent years making this book and doing research and everything on it. It's actually, I started reading it, but it's actually pretty decent. She did a really good job with it, but she didn't do the audiobook, so it's like okay. But like I was trying to explain though, I thought that was fascinating to listen to is we have towns in our country, we have areas in our country that we just started just dumping shit. And we're no different than any other country. Other countries have the same issue. But
Yeah.
with how advanced we think we are, I feel like maybe we should be handling these situations so they don't continue to happen.
Yes, this kind of gives you a breakdown of what picture.
Decades of lead and zinc mining left a toxic legacy, contaminating a 40-square-mile area of Ottawa County in far northeast Oklahoma.
Damn.
The area
Look
has
at
been
all this
designated the
runoff.
Tar Creek Superfund site since 1983. Over the past 3 decades, 2 News Oklahoma's Kathy Tatum chronicled efforts to clean things up, efforts still nowhere close to finished.
Not
In the
the
late
banjo.
1800s, lead and
Not
zinc
the
mines sprang
banjo.
up
No, you
all
have
across a
to.
three-state
You
area
really
where
said
Kansas,
some
Missouri, and
bumblefuck
Oklahoma
shit, bro.
meet. Lead pulled from the ground used to make about 90% of the ammunition used by the U.S. in World Wars I
True.
and II. Waste called chat from the massive underground mines soon grew into massive mounds above ground. During the mining heyday, the town of Pitcher swelled to more than 20,000 people. Its homes
It's pretty
hugging
big
the
for
chat
back in then.
piles.
This
look
giant
at the
aerial
pile
map
of
taken in
dirt, too.
1927 really shows the scope of mining in this area. This central part up here is Pitcher, this is Commerce down here. And every one of these white splotches that you can see, that's a chat pile.
By the 1970s, the mines shuttered. But dust from the lead and other heavy metals kept blowing off the chat piles, contaminating people, land, and Tar Creek. Lead poison is especially hazardous to children, causing developmental delays and learning disabilities. The scope of contamination is so extensive. In 1983, the Environmental Protection Agency declared the Tar Creek portion of Ottawa County a Superfund site.
I feel really sad about it.
Rebecca Jim founded
Thanks
LEAD,
for your
Local
input.
Environmental Action Demanded, to fight for the
She's had
area's
so much
cleanup.
lead.
Once it was discovered
feel
that
really
our
sad.
children, one-third
Okay.
of our Indian children were
What are
lead
we gonna do about
poisoned,
it? I don't know.
we thought we probably ought to get organized.
Initially, the EPA headed up cleanup efforts, some less successful than others, like when it tried scraping contaminated dirt out of yards in Pitcher, only to have fresh soil quickly contaminated by dust blowing off the chat. Eventually, it switched tactics, offering to buy out Pitcher residents to get them to move away. A slow process, initially resisted by many.
I didn't want to, but it looks like I'm going to have to be leaving.
It's like, why in the hell would you want to live in a
Reason?
contaminated
A
area?
massive EF4 tornado slammed through part of the town during the buyout process in 2008.
Who says that more
killing 6
places aren't
and
contaminated
destroying
with shit
160
that we just
homes.
don't know yet?
Well, it's like I said, you've seen those ones, all those piles, and we have an ammunition plant down here that supplies like the bullets themselves and everything, and the warhead, our nuclear warheads and everything else are made down here too.
Can I ask you something? So, how do you think these bullets being made with lead, stuff like that? How about the people manufacturing the bullets, right? Because females were working in these plants. How do you think that affected children that they gave birth to? How about the individuals shooting off the bullets, having to load the magazines and stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, there's no
those war
need.
efforts.
There's actually no need right now. Well, back in the military back then, there was a need for lead, but like back now, you can use brass.
no, they still use lead.
Yeah, there's no need to.
But
Brass is
World War-
better. It's actually
World War
better for
II.
your weapon.
Lead's cheaper though.
World War II, that's all they
Brass is better
used.
for you.
So
Yeah,
all those
correct.
individuals with how do you think that affects the brain? How do you think, oh man, okay. I don't want to get off too much topics here,
No,
but
you're right though. You're right. Like think about all that lead that went
those,
in.
yeah, and these people were shooting it and they were loading it. They were having to deal with it. They were around it. They had no idea. No
Yeah.
idea. And guess what? We're the offsprings of those individuals.
Well, that explains a lot.
That
to me.
generation. That's why we see. This is just me stating this.
Wow, me and Rebel are one generation before you, so we're
Yeah.
more fucked than you.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is why do you think potentially we see all these high level of autism? We see all these high level of ADHD. Everybody has, let's be honest, everybody's on the spectrum now.
I think that's more
To a certain
from-
degree, in some way, shape, or form. This stuff is passed down in generations and stuff like that. That's just insane to me. These people were affected.
I
This way.
think the spectrum of autism is the way that the government is trying to combat these things that they fucked up on earlier, and they're giving you these pills that are basically like they didn't know about the iron and all this and all this
Dude,
shit.
I
And
want to
they're giving you
speak
these
on that.
pills, and that's what makes you fucking retarded.
Well, Jesus, just say it. So what? All right, listen. I'm gonna bypass that.
You can't
comment,
freaking
bro. That's funny. as shit.
You can't pussyfoot around this shit. If you think our government isn't fucking with us every day, you're a fucking moron.
What? Our
Ignorance
government don't
is
fuck with
bliss.
us. What the hell are
Ignorance
you
is
talking
bliss, and that's what they trained us up while we're going through school. Anyway, did you know that during World War II, most of the Nazi soldiers were taking meth
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
pills. Even
Yeah.
the American
If
soldiers.
they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't
No,
call
it
it
was called
meth.
different. It was called
Yes.
something different.
Yes.
Go ahead. If you guys got information, talk about it, man. Because I'm
No,
interested in this shit.
no.
Bro.
Yeah, it's a proven fact.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's insane. I mean, to be honest, if you're a soldier, you're in war, give them anything that can advance them physically. Take some steroids, whatever it might be, dude. Just
Well, you also got to
get
keep
into
them
it.
awake. You got to keep them
Everything.
awake.
Get them
Well,
pumped up,
It's
adrenaline.
just like
whatever you gotta do.
it's just like during Vietnam. They had, you know, Marlboro. Well, up until after Vietnam, Marlboro cigarettes had marijuana in them.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other
I
things.
never really understood
Coca-Cola had real cocaine in it.
cocaine in it. Yeah.
You know, and it's
And we're
there's
talking
still
about
there's
this
still things
now.
today. I was listening to talking about that because there's still things today that, you know, some of the soldiers when they go on these podcasts and shit, they sit there and talk about, yeah, they still use a form of a methamphetamine to keep them,
Yeah.
you
Some sort
know,
of
keep them alert.
opioid
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
it's the reason why so many of them come out addicted to shit when they get out of the service.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I mean,
Because that's one thing I always sit there and said about the service. It's kind of, I mean, it's just kind of like carrying, you know, like we got in the conversation about carrying a handgun, just normal people. You know, I think military, if you're an infantry, actually any military, they should have a stringent psychological profile done on them before, you know, because we're not in wartime, so it would be easy to do, and you know, you could still be in the service and everything else, but you need to have a stringent psychological profile done for you to make sure that if you do go and you are subjected to those kind of drugs and stuff like that on the battlefield or whatever, that it's not going to fuck with you when you get out. I mean, that would stop a lot of disability stuff when, you know, in the psychological aspect of things. You know, it's just like Vietnam. Vietnam, you couldn't help because Vietnam was draft. They didn't give a shit because we didn't have enough people. So they just fucking took, you know, anybody that was a warm body.
I think there was several movies out there that would show them giving them a pill before they would go out into battle.
Yeah.
There's several movies out there that old time movies, somewhat, you know, 50s, 60s movies, maybe 70s, that they would show this, you need to take this, you know, that air sickness, you know, the air sickness pill, you know, before they jump out of the plane and parachute down.
Keep you awake for 4 days.
Yeah, but there probably was some other shit in there, man. And it's just, they don't give a rat's ass. They just drug them up, send them out there, hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, and I have all the respect.
I don't mean if they hope in the best. Like, they honestly don't care. They're gonna say either we won or we lost. Doesn't matter how many casualties. If they have a lot of casualties, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we had a lot of casualties. This is the worst war ever." We had
Well,
so
this
many
is a podcast.
casualties."
So who's we?
No, like the government.
Or they don't care.
Yeah, the government doesn't care. They don't care if people die. That's why they send you out there.
The government starts from the very individual that start and becomes into the military, right? Everybody has free will to a certain degree.
Well, yeah.
So
depending on the time you served.
So somebody starts at the bottom, right? Yeah, let's just you know, there's somebody above them, and then above them. Then they have a general that they talk to. Then they have another guy above him, and then another guy above him, and then you get to the president, right? So who do we have to blame other than the individuals that are staying at home and electing these individuals too? Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all comes down to the American people electing individuals and whoever has the most money, but that big banks. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny how much shit that has been like floating across my TikTok page.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about like the Rothschilds, the fucking, all these people that fucking, you know, started shit and everything else. And I mean, it just, you know, like the flat earth stuff started hitting my page.
Oh, tell me about that. What's
And
that?
the Armageddon shit. I mean, all this crap's been hitting my page. I mean, I'm glad because now I've gotten away from all the bullshit.
Yeah.
But
I kind of am into more of the quote unquote conspiracies, because conspiracy theories tend to come true because there's a certain amount of truth in them. People connect the dots quite quickly because we're very intellectual beings. We're intellectual mammals and beings in this. So we think freely. We may, in some other countries, we may not be able to state them, but we think through all this stuff. Now, if you get suckered up into a fucking cult, you need to be put in an insane asylum, okay? Like, you need to be able to think freely without politics, like left, right, up, down, extremism. I wouldn't even say politics, extremism, politics, because that's what we got right now. There's extremism, left side, right side, and everybody just wants to be categorized into the right side.
yeah,
Not
it's
right, but
it's all fucking theater right now. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, I understand why, now I understand why they call politics theater. The reason why, Congress and everything else, if you look down at every state's house, it looks like you're in a theater. It's the way it's positioned. You've got the stage up front, you've got the audience sitting in the deals. But yeah, it's
He's
just
out
crazy.
there like, "Arr, arr," sitting in the audience out there.
Yeah.
That audience out there in the fucking Congress and shit might have a little bit of power, but there's individuals up front that got some power,
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think a lot of it too, I think it's a reason why, because it goes down to everything else. We're led to believe what we're, as a kid, growing up as a kid, you're told to respect your elders, told to respect authority, told to do this and do that. You're never told to, like, well, think for yourself. That's kind of the way I'm glad I was raised, because everybody's like, oh, feel sorry for me because, my dad died young when I was young and didn't have, a big had a big family, but really didn't have it. Everybody's like, oh, so sorry. Even one of my sisters is like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I'm happy the way I grew up. I'm happy that I was able to use my mind and come up with my own conclusions on how the world worked. I wasn't influenced by outside. Yeah. Was I naive? Did I fall for some shit when I was younger? Of course, I still do. It's just part of human nature. But you're a little bit, once you go through that, and that's what really scares me about like today's youth, is because of the fact of the matter is they've been programmed by social media. You have TikTok, Instagram, all this.
No idea of it happening either.
Yeah. And you try to tell them that, it's just like a kid. You try to tell them, it's like, that's not right. It's just like, oh, you just don't know. It's like, okay. You can't argue with them.
Other than your internet. And here's another issue with that. AI.
Yeah.
Is built off the back of the internet. The computerized systems that run the internet, all these opinions, all these social media platforms, like, that's the information it's gathering. All the, the web searches and stuff, the people paying for web searches just to bring them to the top of the list. That's where they're gathering the information. So you still have to do the work to get the correct information. And to think like AI is going to fix our life, that's just not going to happen. Us as individuals need to think freely and understand that everything that we've learned isn't always going to be correct.
Yeah.
And to understand that, be humble enough to specifically state, hey, I was wrong, but that would never come out of most of these people in the internet's mouth.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, because I did assert. I mean, like I said, I use AI for quite a bit of shit. Quite a bit of my research and everything else. But I don't just sit there and it's like, hey, what happened here, and just take for granted whatever it tells me. But, it's just like if something doesn't make sense, it's just like if
there's some dots that don't match up, you have to look more into it.
I mean,
right? You do that.
But I mean, it's just like AI. I mean, AI is great. It's a great tool for, for doing research, doing everything else. I don't think we're quite ready for like movie productions and shit like that because right now it's kind of scary, especially with the political atmosphere and everything else. You can create it. You can create deep fakes of Trump, Netanyahu, fucking Putin, Zelensky, the dude from China, North Korea. You can create some pretty accurate deep fakes of them saying shit. Yeah, that can start wars. That's what I'm saying. I think the video AI based should not be available right now because of the fact of the matter of it's too easy to create these deep fakes. Even though it's got these pop-up warnings saying, "Oh, we can't do that," but you have these nerds out there that create their own AI video I mean, who do you think created the AI video generators? It was individuals that went through a coding process and created their own damn code, piggybacking off of the regular AI text base,
Well, and here's another thought process here too. You have individuals doing that, and then you have okay. So if we didn't create it, guess who would have? Right? So like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, should we do it? Should we not do it? That's not a question that arises because if we don't do it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
And we will not have the power to do anything about it because we're behind.
Well, good example of that is, the space race we had back in the 50s and the 60s.
Yes. Yep.
We were wanting to be the first. We wanted to be on the moon before Russia. Now it's China. We want to be everywhere before China. But back then in the 50s and the 60s, it was before Russia.
Yep.
Because Russia had similar technology.
Yep.
Because we sold it to them. Or the fact of the matter, they stole it from us, one or the other. All the technology actually, if you think about it, all the technology you see around the world came from the United States first.
Well, the creativity, ingenuity, and the manufacturing and stuff like that has been outsourced over the many, many years. And I think actually now more companies, new companies, are figuring out, okay, well, why does this shit take 18 months to get to me? And I'll give you an example for clarification. So like the flight space, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're the leading edge of flight when it comes to, Boeing, for example. That's an American company. All these regulations and stuff. There's an individual out there now that is creating supersonic commercial flight now.
Oh, so we're going back to the Concorde?
Concorde's done.
Well, I know it's been done for some years.
And
but
the issue was
it was the first supersonic jet.
$20,000 for just a seat.
Yeah.
And what this individual has done is created this company to then have basically the business class, which FYI, business class takes up about 80% of the actual profit for a flight.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's going to be taking that, putting him in these hypersonic, getting over to London and Paris in 4 hours when it would normally take you 18 hours or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Yeah. That was the whole
Paris
point of
is only like a 7-hour flight or whatever.
That was the whole point. That was the whole point of the Concorde, and then it went on for years. But it was coming to the point where it was becoming too expensive. Prices were going up. Yep. Maintenance was. They only had one jet. There was only one jet.
Do you know one of the executive orders Trump signed in the very first couple days was to allow the speed of flights to be faster?
Normal jets can't. Normal airplanes can't.
Really normal airplanes can't. But because we have regulated
the
progress of flights, basically they are taking Boeing is taking their current airplanes and just changing them a slight bit because
Well, Boeing's
Yeah.
going bankrupt because they keep losing a lot of shit.
I don't think they're going bankrupt. I think there's individuals making a lot of fucking money up there that they should be worried about safety and everything else. But the issue is the regulations that have been placed on these companies from all these activist groups and shit that have. And here's another issue with like big companies and big corporations. They don't want to change their business model to be able to advance. They just want to do what they know and go from there. You know, they're making money upon money upon money. Why would we sit here and try to advance and spend more money with the possible progression when I know this works, right? So, you know, you had a bunch of scandals and stuff with Boeing currently, and you know, oh, I see that you made millions this year. Why aren't you worried about safety? Well, bitch, I don't know.
What?
Maybe if you stop regulating the fuck out of me to where I'm not able to advance this technology.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, why are other plane companies that manufacture planes not having the same issue then?
because they don't have regulations.
Yes, they do. They all have the same regulation. Plane
No,
companies,
they have a general regulation that you can't surpass the speed of sound.
No, I'm not saying that. But like, say Boeing safety, stuff like that. Why is Boeing failing so much compared to other plane manufacturers?
No, they're just cutting costs on that far.
Cutting
That factor.
costs, yes.
I mean, whenever you have shit like that happen, that just, I mean, that happened like back in the day. People were, you know, it's just like what, even like with one of the space flights when the Challenger or the space shuttle program, you know, they found
Yeah,
out that some
Apollo.
of that stuff was
Yeah.
being outsourced for cheaper and everything else. Is the reason why the space shuttle program's not around anymore.
Yeah.
But because it
And
got too expensive.
This guy I was listening to, he basically he was getting his engines for these planes from Rolls Royce, and one of his failures was they couldn't get the spec. Like every day the spec changed, and every day it just got more and more. Eventually, you know, they stopped ordering quote
No.
unquote, from them, and then Rolls Royce posted through an article saying, "Oh, this company's a fraud. This is blah blah blah." Look up, Boom. There's an aeronautic company out there called Boom. This is the guy that I was listening to, and he's been doing this for 10 plus years now. And they basically were able to stop the sound of sonic booms for air flight. So basically, if they get high enough, the ground won't be able to hear it. So individuals on the ground won't be able to hear it. All good. So this company, they're in the middle of it. They have like 200 or 300 different orders for this. It's going to allow quicker travel. It's going to, you know, individuals that go. He's doing it not domestic flights, but overseas. Like if you're taking a flight out of New York to go to London,
Yeah, or Germany or something.
yes. So it's not individuals that can't, you know, can afford to go over there on a commercial flight. But eventually, the cost of manufacturing, he brought all the manufacturing inside of his company, rather than outsourcing it. Because all these companies, here's another thing, right? During the military industrial complex, places would pop up with, "Oh, I can manufacture that part, but I'm in Indiana. Oh, I can manufacture that screw. I'm in Texas though. I can manufacture the flywheels, but I'm in North Carolina. You know, so then
They
you have
all
to
have to
wait.
get tipped.
Well, they all have to get shipped in the processing, and then you have the regulations. Then they have to, and then you have the empowerment of companies stating, "Hey, I need this changed, and then this changed." I have no wherewithal because everything's changing every day. If you're trying to innovate something, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, you have to bring it in house, and that's very good. Like right now, a lot of innovators, a lot of companies out there are bringing shit in house with
Because
all
they
the
can
executive
just well,
orders.
they can just design it on the fly. Like
Yes,
they come out with
yes,
a tire per se, but like, oh no, we have to change this spring to handle this much more weight. We can do it
yep,
right now. We just
yep,
adjust this, and this. We'll build it right here. And those are just called fabricators, American technology, like, or
yes.
any technology. Like we've had it here forever, but
But the
give our
issue is
business
it's all
everywhere.
overwhere.
Yeah.
Like all the parts and all this and that, it's everywhere in the country. It takes
I mean,
months. It takes fabrication. It takes, skilled labor. It takes just individuals out there that are just working and testing these things. Make sure they're precise because if you
I
go to an
but I
airport,
think the only reason that shit happens though is because
the industrial complex, military industrial complex, yeah,
well, not even like I
that's
think
how
that
they were getting
most
funding.
companies I think it's cheaper for companies to have just one thing they build than it is for them to build 30 different things. Because then you need, say, 100 employees to build 30 things instead of only
Well,
50.
let me ask you this because that does work in some circumstances. What happens if you manufacture everything in house? You're building a specific product that you're selling to certain subjects, but because you're manufacturing everything in house, individuals from other companies are looking for specific things. Hey, we can sell our engines to you. We built our engines,
Well,
groundbreaking engines.
are you
You
going to
know,
do that
parts.
because you build
Yes,
your own shit in house?
absolutely. They want money.
You know?
They'll sell it to you. Hey, you know, we got this not overstock, but hey, if you need this, yeah, we can ship it out to you, but there's going to be a price to it. Or you can wait 18 months to get that specific part. But
From
hey, yeah, we
China.
got other countries. Well, guess what? The improvement of bringing shit and manufacturing to the country is for that purpose.
Well,
We need to stop waiting
do
on
you
other
know why
countries
it takes so
to do some shit.
long for other countries to get our shit besides coming through customs? It's so they can figure out why we're so much better than them. They're trying to figure out our technology. Why do you think most of the stuff, if we are cutting edge and we send it out somewhere per se, right?
Yeah.
Say we send it to China, we send something cutting edge. Why do you think it takes them so long? It's because they're fucking trying to figure out how we made it to be that cutting edge. It's not customs. I mean, shit, I just bought shit fucking from Australia fucking 2 weeks ago and it was here in a week.
Yeah. Well, there's international laws that you have to deal with too, but
Correct. Correct.
that's just part of it.
Uh,
But like the manufacturing side, dude, you can print that shit in 24 hours. Just for example, propeller blades on a fucking jet, you can print them in 24 hours, make them, create them, and have them ready to test. If they don't work, then hey, put it back in the shop. We got to figure something else out. So we've relied on cheap labor. We've relied on cheap shit from other countries because they hinder you from
all they're doing
progress
is test.
because
They're
they
testing our technology. That's why
well
it takes so long.
I almost have to slightly disagree, but I also agree with you. I think most of it comes down to these manufacturing facilities can't put them out fast enough. I think that's more so the high probability of what's happening because they don't. Some of these companies don't give a rat's ass. They just want the money, right? Just
Yeah.
like here, we're capitalism, right? So we go through this process of, and keep in mind, I'm not just talking about outside the country. I'm talking about inside the country currently.
Oh
Like
yeah.
these manufacturing facilities take so long to create something. There's two different models to sales. Like there's a based off of time spent, product spent, shipping, right? Then there's
Well, that's 3.
that's just one business model, brother. If you can't connect the dots at this fucking point, Jesus Christ, you're too drunk. Just kidding. Um, but then there's the other side of, oh, you need something custom built, you need something to specific specs. Well, we got to pay our labor. You know, there's labor costs specifically for it. But if you bring a specific product to them and say, this is what exactly what we need, we're not going to change it. What's the cost? What's the, final shipping cost? There's two different models, just like in construction in our country, right? Yeah, I'm sure you know about this. There's, for us, we put out a bid for a contract to potentially get it, but then we upcharge them if it's not the same exact time. That we got to pay more labor to these guys because you asked for something else not according to our contract, so we're going to charge you more. Or, hey, this is exactly what we need. Come here, do it. You got 2 hours. That's it. If it's not what we want, so be it. There's no customization to it. So that's another business model. And I think that's why in our country there's just a very, very big disconnect between manufacturing and constructing of new things. And
Has
yes.
anybody else seen this security thing going across the bottom of their screen?
The ticker?
I don't know. Something about NFL. There was just a shooting.
That happened in Manhattan a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, that's funny. It's coming across the screen right now on mine.
That's just
NFL
'cause I put
live
it there.
streaming. Oh, really? Oh.
It's a news ticker.
Oh. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I was like, I just heard this the other day.
No, that's that mass shooter that went supposedly was
He
trying
went to the wrong office.
Well, that's because they couldn't get up any further because it's all security
Yeah.
card. He just happened to get in the elevator when that one chick passed by him.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, what, is this fucking new? I was
Oh,
like, wait.
that was it for me. I mean, like, Rebel, I know you missed a big chunk of that, but the premise was there's companies out there manufacturing their own products now on purpose after all these executive orders went through. That is now advancing progress in our country. And the budget cuts, quote unquote, that Elon did is now like EPA is getting kind of defunded. They like these governmental agencies that were kind of good to a certain degree, but they were biased based on either payouts from companies or, hey, listen,
Well, not only that,
I'll
I mean,
slip you a couple mil real quick if you shut down that progress over there.
I mean, not only that, but we always heard the whole adage was that, once you become a government employee, you can never be fired. I mean, that's been the deal for a long time.
Yep.
Because that's the fact is, if you don't get fired, they just create a new department for you and relocate you. So we've had all these millions of departments created over the years, that
are useless,
redundant. Well, it's just like I said, why do we need 5 law enforcement agencies? I can understand like immigration, ICE and the FBI, but why the fuck do we need, NSA, BSA? Why do we need all these fucking 3-letter acronyms when the FBI can do one thing, the CIA has always been its own entity. It's not even actually technically a part of the U.S. government.
I was going to say, technically, it's not even part of it.
Yeah. Technically, the FBI isn't either. It was an independent agency created by Hoover, back in the day. Or not Hoover, but who was the president during Hoover?
I think it was Hoover.
Well, Hoover ran it, but I mean, it used to be the OSS, but then they converted, they shut down the OSS and converted it to the CIA. But the reason why they converted it, the CIA was basically designed to spy on other countries. I mean, that was its whole
covert missions.
Yeah. Spy on people, presidents, and everything else. I mean, but the FBI was created to. The FBI was actually created to.
Wasn't the FBI
the government?
Roosevelt? No, it wasn't Roosevelt. FBI.
No, he created. I mean, I think it was created around the same time, but.
Yeah, but I think he might have been the president.
Teddy, I know Teddy created. NYPD when he was a governor or something like that, but. I mean, but what I'm saying is just like, I mean, all these government building or all these government agencies, we don't need them. There's too many. There's a redundancy, and it's, over the years it's costed, you went through the whole thing the last time when we talked about, our national debt being our own debt. That's the reason why we're in debt because of all these different companies, all these different organizations and things that we've created over the years to funnel money. All it is one big money laundering program.
Yeah. And it's fake made up money too. Like it's not, it's made up money that they created by taxing individuals.
Money, tax money. It's not made up money.
Well, money's fake. There's no backing to the US dollar right now.
No, gold used to back it, and gold.
Yeah, it's gone. There's no. That's why the Federal Reserve. Why do you think they didn't fucking put out there? Oh yeah, there's no gold in here. That didn't matter. After who was the guy? The president. He's like, hey, we're gonna partially. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back, but we're gonna take the backing of the U.S. dollar away from gold.
It was Theodore Roosevelt. When the FBI started.
Teddy.
The FBI, the FBI was created during the presidency of Theodore Roosevelt in 1908.
But now there's no security on it. There's nothing backing it, no tangible object. So, governments have changed, finances have changed. Dollars are exchanged for services, but that dollar really doesn't mean anything. It's just a made up concept because people, whenever they used to trade things, they couldn't trade their cotton, their pile of cotton in the backyard for, their groceries, right? Because you couldn't trade that. So we decided to, hey, we're banking on, we changed the whole rigmarole. We based it now off the working class, individuals that go out and work. Why do you think when we were growing up, it's all just school systems and trying to train individuals to go out there and work? And why do you think they want you to go to college? More money. Hey, we're going to give you a loan. Guess what? Your interest rate's 17%. You're going to be paying this shit off for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, our dollar right now is worth 98 cents.
That's just insane. This is insane.
98.26 cents.
Just like our debt.
It's up it's gone up this month compared. I mean, I can see some of the shit that Trump's doing. I know this didn't turn into political, but it's not really. But it's more of still on topic of financial and shit what we talk about, but and conspiracies. But
this is all a conspiracy.
But no, I mean it's. like I said, it's only 8 months in, going in 9 months in. It's just like you got to realize, Rome wasn't built in a day. I can actually say that now. Rome wasn't built in a day. You've got to there's got to be. Like I said, I'm not happy with a lot of shit he's doing, but some of the stuff with getting rid of all the waste Yes, we're not going to see it. Everybody wants it's like because of all people that doesn't understand Trump sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to have this done day one." Blah blah. That's just all fucking.
Nothing
It's
government happens in a day.
It's theater to him, and if anybody believed that in the beginning, you're as stupid as
You're a fucking idiot.
yeah.
You should
Everybody
move out of the country.
everybody knew that it wasn't going to be done in a day. It's just, it wasn't there wasn't actually even a political promise. That was just Trump being Trump doing political or doing theater. It's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
Can I say something that might be a little controversial? Our country.
You know what's controversial is him drinking water.
I don't have any beer.
Oh. All right, now
But
you
anyways.
can go.
No, thank you. Our country was built off of immigrants, right? Based off, well, to a certain
No, not
degree.
really.
To a
All
certain
of us
degree.
are. Yes.
We immigrated
We're
from
all immigrants. Unless you're Native American, we're all immigrants.
Well, we aren't. We currently aren't. No. After the first generation died off, they weren't immigrants
Okay,
anymore.
we're all immigrants.
Well, stop lying. But we immigrated. See, like, I already lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was going to say now.
Take a sip of your beer, you remember.
Just give me a second. I'll come back to it. Don't worry.
You were about to say about the immigrants, how it all started, something like that.
Yeah, it's still not working. What were we talking about before that, though?
We were talking about the
I know there's
like
several
things.
different conversations.
Yeah.
No,
Or
what were you talking about,
mechanical.
Rebel?
No, the U.S. dollar. I was talking about how the U.S. dollar wasn't. I mean, that's where we kind of.
Yeah. It was 98 cents for a US dollar.
This has nothing to do with that, but thank you for putting it out there. Kickstart something back in my brain. But like this might not be the specific thing I was going to talk about, but this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. So,
big banks.
What do you think was the downfall of most societies that went with just downfall of most old societies?
Talking about like empires and shit like that.
Yeah,
They grew too fast.
Diversity.
Yeah, that's what killed. That's what killed the Roman empires. They grew too fast.
They grew too fast, and then they wanted to appease everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the common good, they wanted to appease everybody. So my thought process with everything that the Democrats have done over the past several years was inclusion. And this is what I was trying to get back to with the immigration side. So you have immigrants coming from other countries that have grew up in that country and then try to influence their way into that thought process over here. And I promise you that doesn't fucking work. And actually, it's going to be the downfall of this country if we continue to have these people that don't grow up in the U.S. inside of these politics areas and influencing this shit. Because we had all this time to diversify. And I promise you, it doesn't fucking work. Stop shoving your nonsense down our throat whenever you grew up in communist China. You grew up in UK. That, guess what? If you talk about trans people in the slightest bad way, you're getting sued and put in prison. Or you post something on Facebook, you're going to prison. You go down to Germany. Dude, you're being fed information. Stop coming over here and thinking your idea is the best way. I promise you it isn't, because you grew up completely different than being in the U.S. Let your children decide what's good for this country. because they're going to grow up. They're going to live this life and decide what the next steps are. Because it's just so hard for me to completely just ignore the fact of these people coming over here and creating these businesses, and they're profiting. That's great. That's the American dream. But us as Americans, we're not doing that.
Well, the reason they're profiting is though because our government gives them money to start businesses, and they're
You can
tax
do that
free
too.
for 7 years. No, you can't.
Okay.
You cannot,
I should have let you
as
fucking
American citizen, get a tax free business loan for 7 years.
Well, that's the
And
funny
there's
thing
a
is, it's
lot
just
of
like,
companies that do that.
it's just the funny thing is, it's just like everybody's complaining about what's happening now, about, the administration doing this to immigration and everything else, and it's funny that's causing the big divide, Well, I understand why it's causing the big divide because it's redrawing Democratic election lines, because now there's not because how the political election lines are drawn is by the population within those districts. Even though they take the census every 10 years, that's usually when they redraw the district, the lines. But, Texas is wanting to redraw theirs now because of all of the population decrease. California is wanting to redraw theirs because they want to retaliate against Texas redrawing theirs because Texas is going to become heavily Republican now instead of, more diverse. They're going to become more red than purple.
But in California, dude, like, they're all influencers. They're all actors. They're all try to be a part of the system. Like, I refuse to truly believe these individuals think that they're doing the right thing. Or they might think that they're doing the right thing, but later down their life, they realize, and this is how all people are, for the most part,
protecting their money.
Yeah, and they influence these individuals to preposterate this shit to their following.
Yeah.
But it's all fake. Stop listening to nonsense.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, let's do the last hour on actually our topic, since it was a good thing. I mean, we went through some good information. I mean, I can split this up into 2 episodes from the podcast. So. But no, it's just like I was saying in the beginning, it's just like, it's kind of funny that how all of a sudden all this shit's been going through like my TikTok timeline and everything else about flat Earth. I mean, we talked about it before about, is the Earth flat, and the whole, did we really go to space type thing, but the fact of the matter is like, I don't know. I don't think we're flat. I do believe that we're a sphere, but the fact of the matter is I don't believe. So there's this professor that collects like maps. I've seen, he's done like interviews with a bunch of things. He's on YouTube and TikTok and everything else. Not him, but the interviews. But he shows all these different maps. It's not a guy. Sorry, it's a girl. It's an older lady, but she has all these different maps. And it's just like, so it's just like the whole thing with like the map itself, we're shown, when you pull it down off of the, back in school where they pulled it out. I don't know if your guys' were that way, but ours was, they pulled it off. They pulled it down from, all these different maps hanging above the chalkboard, they pulled down, it was always usually split up into like the division of a sphere, and all this that showed. But then, it's just like when you see, they've done some like analytics on some of these maps, and the way that our maps that we were growing up in, the countries aren't positioned right. They're not according to the coordinates, they're not coordinated correctly on the map. Some countries are too close to each other, some countries are too far away. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. But now, do I believe I don't know. There's some things that could probably lead people to believe that, we're kind of a flat plane, but
get on a flat map.
Well, I mean, if you think of flights, there was this one that I've seen. Let's see if I can find it.
So what happens when you had if we were flat, right? You had the Russian earthquake. How would that get to California then?
Do you mean Japan's?
No, Russia.
Oh no, it was Russia.
Oh, that last Russian one. I mean, it didn't do nothing. It
Well,
didn't.
no, but in theory, if it was a flat Earth, how would it get to California?
Same way.
Rumble,
Yeah.
rumble, water shake, California.
But it's a flat Earth. It's flat,
So?
so technically it should just end, right? It doesn't wrap around to the other side.
Let me hear something.
Well, I guess that's a question to the flat earthers. Because I
Yeah,
can't
that's
argue
fine.
with you, but I can probably argue against you.
No, I'm
Just
just
'cause
saying.
I'm
I don't believe in a flat Earth.
I
I'm
can
just,
argue. You know what I mean? But
how is it? If it's a flat Earth, how does that?
like, where's the
make
cutoff? Is what you're
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
where's
yeah,
the
yeah.
cutoff in all this?
Like,
I agree. Like, okay, so you brought up the fact that, well, people are arguing like we never went to space.
Mhm.
Currently, China's on the backside of the moon.
Well, they have satellites on there. Them personally are not there. They've just sent satellites onto the backside of the moon.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, because this is good. This is a good question. I love this. Why haven't we gone back to the moon if we've been there?
Yeah.
that's
Why
what
hasn't anybody?
Me and Rebel were just talking about this before we started this today. Like, it's no one's ever been back. No one.
No
There's
one.
no civilization. There's no little house put up. There's no little tent, or like not
We
But,
can
tent.
send
but Elon,
but
Elon-
there's no
Unmanned.
nothing. Just an
Unmanned,
American
because I
flag,
feel like,
apparently.
isn't there like a radiation belt around us?
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
radiation belt. So how do we get through that type of thing?
That's some of the
You know-
questions that have been around for a while, but that's some of the questions that's been like surfacing on some of my social media apps and stuff like that. It's just like that's what I'm saying. It's just like, where in the hell did this come from? I never searched for it. I don't know where this is all starting to come from, but
Safe travels.
but no, this is one that I found, about the conspiracy about flat Earth.
The world ocean, think of it as a giant lake with all of the continents as islands.
I can roll this now.
The shoreline of our world is Antarctica. The foundation of Antarctica is higher than any other continent. Everything that you know is a lie. The United Nations map, Flat Earth map, International Maritime Organization, Flat Earth map, World Meteorological Organization, Flat Earth map, International Civil Aviation Organization. These are the things that control the world. Why do they all have Flat Earth maps? What about this?
Whoa.
This makes sense. What if we lived here? What if this is where we lived? Right there. These are other ponds with their own suns.
Not a single commercial plane has flown over Antarctica?
No, none, ever.
Whoa,
And
why?
Because you
That's
can't
a
fly
lie.
over Antarctica. Look at the Earth. World Cup soccer.
Oh.
Okay? They were in Doha. They wanted to go back to Buenos Aires. They went to Rome to refuel, and then they went back there. Why didn't they just go here? Because if they did, there's no place to refuel out here. On a flat Earth, Doha, Rome, Buenos Aires. So here's an emergency. They were going from New York to Hawaii, right about here, and they said we have to land. So they went to Seattle, which is like 1,000 miles out of the way. They got there in record time. New York, Seattle, Hawaii.
Who's directing the airlines to construct these flight pathways? Steve?
NASA goes. The world ocean, think of it as a
It's an interesting take. I always wondered that. It's just like, why? Because they always sit there and say they fly the curvature of the Earth. That's what we're always told when they fly.
Yeah.
They fly the curvature of the Earth. That's the reason why it always takes you longer. When it's if you fly a straight shot, it's actually shorter in distance.
Well,
But
I
they say
always
because of the planes,
question
they have to fly the curvature of the Earth.
what's the speed of the Earth's rotation? Like, obviously, we know it's 24 hours, right? But if you
1,000 miles an hour.
so All right.
Yeah, that fucked up everything right there.
No, it didn't. This is what I'm trying to ask you. Like, say you fly up, you're going 500 miles an hour. Let's just say commercial flights are
That's
like
equator
400.
speed. That's going around the center. It's 1,000 miles an hour.
So how do you get from, I'll say it, Pennsylvania down to Texas? And what is it? 4 hours? That's fake. The
So
Earth
either
is
one-
already rotating. If you just fly straight up and the Earth rotates, I'll be there in less than an hour.
Yeah, but you're not going out of the Earth's
then again-
atmosphere.
That's what I'm saying. If you take a straight shot, you'll get there quicker. But if you're flying at the curvature of the curvature of the Earth, because you're going up and around instead of straight to it.
Yeah, but like, so say I take a direct flight from PA to California, it's 8 hours there and only 6 hours back.
Well, if
'Cause
you would
now
just
I'm
fly
going
straight up
with the
and let the
spin
Earth
of the
turn.
Earth, is that what it is? Like now I'm going with the spin of the Earth on the way home, depending which way the Earth is spinning, I guess. There's always more time to go to California from here to there, but coming home, it's always 2 hours less time in a plane. Or is that just wind speed?
Well,
you
you're
know?
flying into the future. Back to the Future was a real movie.
Yeah. I know. I always say that. I always say that every time I fly. I'm like, "Oh, Back to the Future."
Yep. I always say that shit too. Like, well, I've taken more flights recently in the past 5 years than I did my previous 23 years. So I do question it, and it is good points. But then you got to bring into question gravity. What's underneath of us? Is it just dirt? It's just a big square box. Everybody's square. Antarctica's around us.
All right. So straight line distance between New York City and Los Angeles is approximately 2,475 miles.
Straight line.
Okay. Straight line.
That's
so
crazy to think that because that was only like 3,463 miles driving.
So what is flight distance
Nautical miles is what they call it, I think.
to LA?
Well, I didn't drive to LA. I drove to Tahoe, but I think it was 3,260.
You're on top of the hoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I drove that shit twice. I think it was 3,261 miles from where I live to Lake Tahoe.
But a lot of the reasons why planes take certain routes is because of atmospheric conditions, terrain, and everything else.
That is a very good statement.
Well, yeah, you want to go
because-
around the mountains.
Well, if you get up higher, your engines fly faster because the atmospheric pressure. That's why they fly at 35,000 feet rather than 10,000 feet, so you could wave at your grandma while you're flying over her house. You know, that's why most small aircraft planes fly slower. If you get up high enough, but they need the bigger engines to get up high enough to be able to fly at that altitude to make it faster to get there. So, say I brought up the supersonic speed stuff. They're saying they're getting up there and going to be flying 1,000 miles an hour plus. Look up the speed of supersonic flights. That's a good question.
Probably 50,000.
What height do you have to be at for supersonic for ground personnel to not be able to hear it. There's a terminology for it. I just don't know it off the top of my brain. He was talking about it on the podcast, but
What?
they have made it to where if you get up to a certain height and a certain temperature, those hypersonic flights, because there's a sonic boom that happens. There's a thing
Most of the
that
time, you don't
occurs.
really hear it though. You just really can see it. You see like the
Well, they've
airwaves
just
traveling.
now figured that out. Other than the what was that flight that you call it, Concorde?
Yeah.
Concorde kind of figured that out to a certain degree. There's the whole thing, but yeah. So President Trump signed into an executive order that if you can make it to where the ground can't hear it, you're free to go whatever speed the fuck you want. The major rule was you can't break the sound barrier. Is basically what the rule was in air flight.
So I typed in, what is the height for a supersonic flight not to be heard from the ground?
Yep.
This is AI saying this. So you take that. However, the altitude is, I'm skipping a lot. I'm just going to the basic. The altitude is generally considered to be around 65,000 feet.
That is twice the amount a regular commercial airplane flies at.
Yeah. At this height, the shock wave tends to disperse and bend upwards due to atmospheric conditions, preventing it from reaching noticeable levels on the ground.
Yep. And you're above most airlines whenever you're doing this, right? So to get up to that speed, it normally takes 15 to 20 minutes to get up to that height and speed to be able to go supersonic. This is from the guy that created the company that actually is still sitting here building the airplanes that go supersonic to allow you to get places. So what I'm trying to get at is if you get high enough, the speed changes. So are you actually going supersonic, or are you just sitting in one place for a long period of time until you drop back down? Because wouldn't that be how the Earth spins, right? It's 1,000 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
this one says too, same article, it says Boom Supersonics Overture. Boom Supersonics Overture aircraft, for example, is designed to break the sound barrier at a high enough altitude above 30,000 feet where Mach cutoff physics can mitigate the sonic boom.
yeah.
We'll see. Back
Basically,
in
it tunes itself and disperses.
But this also
We'll
could
go out
be
here and
old.
look
I
at
mean, who knows how
No, that
up
boom,
to date
that
this
Go out
is.
here
boom
and look at
company.
You
That's
are
the
just
company.
outside. You just
That's
stood
the
there.
company I was talking.
No, it says mitigate the sonic boom. It's not saying anything about a company. The mitigate. The sonic boom is the boom that you hear when they go and it
Well, that's
enters.
not how you read it.
Yes, it is. Exactly what I said.
No.
Yeah, I said where Mach cutoff physics can mitigate
You
the
started before
sonic boom.
You started before that. What did it say before that?
Oh, that's the end.
I said, where did you start before that? Not after it. I'm talking about before that. There was boom something. You can look it up. Boom.
It's called Boom
Aeronautics or whatever.
Supersonics Overture.
What are you guys even
Boom.
talking about?
I don't know. At this
You
point,
lost me.
Sure.
So a sonic boom is to create a sonic boom, an object must move faster than the speed of sound in air, breaking the sound barrier. Which, back when they were testing supersonic flights back in the 80s, you always heard sonic booms. We heard them. It was like because we had back home where I lived when they were testing out of Wichita. You would hear them constantly every day. You would hear the jet coming, and you would just, as kids, you would wait for the boom. it was like a thing. Everybody heard the sound of the jet coming because the sound of the jet passing by you was there before the boom happened. So when you heard this, you knew there was a boom coming right after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was going so fast that basically the speed collapsed in on itself to create this fucking almost a wormhole that just snapped and popped like really loud, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a thing.
But no, what I was trying to get at was that company is creating that. And so what does that truly mean though if the earth is actually flat? It would kind of make more sense on why we have to go a certain speed. Are we just going a certain speed for letting the fucking earth curvature to sit there? Obviously we can't go up and just sit there and wait for the earth to turn.
But if
So we're still moving in a certain direction.
If the Earth is flat, why are we worried about the curvature?
I think it's a whole lot of fucking math. A lot of meth. Honestly, I think all the
I was reading the whole thing. It's like if we're going like 100,000 miles or 1,000 miles an hour and you jump straight up, it's just like, where would you go? And it's just like, well, you'd land probably in the same spot because of all it started saying, because of the atmospheric pressure and everything else would keep you at the same distance, It's just like, okay. It was confusing the fuck out. It was confusing the fuck out of me.
But isn't that fucking nuts though? Like, okay, if the earth is, so if I jump up and land back down, did the earth just spin like 1,000 miles an hour underneath my feet? No. Or maybe it did. Maybe that's why everybody gets old. We just keep jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks. Every time we do a jumping jack, we're fucked.
There's
Just
like the
age.
gravitational pull that keeps you, in a sense, because we're not breaking the sound barrier or anything like that when we jump up and down. I mean, so what happens? Then it has to do with everything. You drive a car at 65 miles an hour. What are you really doing? 1,000 miles an hour? Or are you doing,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go out west, right? Like this is the confusion with my brain here. Why if we're driving in a straight line to the west, right? And the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Why can't we reach California quicker?
Yeah, I think everything's been, we're never going to know because everything's been programmed to tell you what we've been told.
Like, I'm not a flat earther, but I can see where their sense is with it.
Well, I think their main thing is the earth is spinning so fast that you don't even notice it.
So here you go. Well, it's not a very good one, but I mean, it's a common day sonic boom.
I don't think that we.
So this is an F-18 sonic boom. So here he is. Breaking the speed of sound right now.
Dude, that's some badass shit.
And you hear that for like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, the plane's already over before you hear the boom.
Here he comes, coming from behind. Another one, sound barrier.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you can tell when he busts the sound barrier, all the...
Yeah, the smoke.
See, watch. That was a good one.
Yeah. How cool is that got to be a pilot? Like, hell yeah.
They have to have special training for that
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Look
even
at
if that guy was so.
Look at those guys. They're like, eh. These are the elite of the elite. Especially being that close.
So yeah, that's what we used to hear like every freaking Saturday mornings, you know, because they would do most of their shit during the weekend, and we'd hear that all the time. You would just because they would fly because you know it's 1,000 miles an hour, you know, so you're leaving Wichita, which is 256 miles from where I grew up, you know, so 1,000 miles an hour, it only takes you a few minutes to get across. Because it's the plains of Kansas, so there's nothing there, so it's just like a straight shot.
I bet.
But yeah, so they had to stop doing that because of the damage those booms were causing. You know, it would shatter windows, it would rattle shit off of walls and everything else.
I bet.
So that's the reason why they quit. They still test the sound barrier, you just don't hear it because it's done at higher altitudes now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the highlight of our day growing up. Is you would hear these planes coming, and everybody, if you were in the middle of something and you were playing, you would run out into to where you could see them, and you would see the plane shoot across, and then kaboom. I mean, it was like the highlight of our day as growing up as kids, is watching the planes testing the sound barrier.
Eating the iron fucking popsicles.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool thing back in the day. I mean, I think everybody should witness a sonic boom. I mean, it's just something that's cool, but you know,
that is almost like a very high pinnacle of technology that we have been able to put a human being and break the sound barrier.
Yeah, I think Chuck Yeager is the one that broke it.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible as a human race.
Thought I had to sneeze.
Now what are we trying to do? Break the light barrier?
No, we're trying to figure out if the fucking Earth is round or flat.
Well, that's been going on for fucking thousands of years.
Yeah, Chuck Yeager broke it in 1947, reaching Mach 1.
Just Mach 1. These jets are going to be running at Mach 1.3.
Well,
the Concordian was running at 1.4. And then you have jets out here for like military shit. That's running at like Mach 6.
No,
you know?
Military is Mach 6, Mach 7.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking insane. Like, bitch, I'm going to be in your land in 30 seconds. Just fucking laser beam.
They're gone before the missiles hit the ground.
Like, we just allow you to see it at this fucking point. You know? Like, hey, we're flying over your town just so you can see that we're flying over your town. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it anyway. Just a flash.
So so the fastest jet we have is the F-15, and it's a 2.5 Mach.
Yeah, that's quick.
I thought we were up there. Oh, maybe that's...
Well, the SR-71 Blackbird reached a maximum speed of 3.3 Mach, but it's retired.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly retired.
Allegedly.
That's the Blackbird. I don't remember there was an old 80s show where he used to fly that jet. This is what it.
Ask AI, is there anyone that has an airplane that goes Mach 10?
Oh yeah. That looks like the Soviet
one with the needles.
This is the Lockheed Blackbird SR-71. There used to be a movie. What was
No, it's not Soviet. It's
No,
This is
no. I said
ours.
it looks. Yes, the Soviets made a airplane looks just like it.
Oh,
Well, they probably took our. It was probably a Blackbird that they
We probably
retrofitted.
gave it to them. Yeah.
well, we don't like to give nobody nothing. So
Of
I would
course.
say they stole it from innovators in the
Yeah.
U.S. that got
Of
paid more to
course.
go over there.
Of course. We hired them as interns.
Yeah.
What was that movie? Oh, come on! Don't tell me it's not gonna. It was a fucking TV show for a while.
Was there any? Let's see. There's a movie out there that'll. I said, yeah, we just reached Mach 10. Oh man, who is that fucking?
Is that
actor?
Tom Cruise you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Tom Cruise movies. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The fucking military guy, whatever.
Yeah, Top Gun.
Top Gun. Yeah, the Mach 10. We don't have anything like that.
No, well, not that we know of. Because what's the newest jet?
What is the fastest aircraft in the world?
The F-15. Oh, in the world?
Yeah.
Still might be the F-15.
Yeah. Yeah, the F-15.
Wow.
Yeah, NASA's US X-15 reaching top speeds of Mach 6.
NASA's. And look, it looks like that same jet.
Yeah, it's just retrofitted.
It actually looks like a fucking jet from like Star Wars.
Yeah, it achieves speeds of Mach 6.7, altitudes of 354,000 feet. There was 3 X-15s built, flew between 1959 and 1968. So we had Mach 6 technologies. See, that's what I'm saying. Back in the 40s, everybody sits there and is always asking me when shit changes. They've always asked all of us, when do you think shit changed? And I always sit there and say in the 40s, between the 40s and the 60s, because that coincides with all the conspiracy theories about Eisenhower meeting with aliens and everything else. The fact of the matter. So I don't know if you ever heard of that, but President Eisenhower supposedly disappeared.
I think I heard it. Yeah.
He disappeared for like 3 hours on a trip to, I think, Burbank or something like that. But he was on a private trip and he disappeared like totally. Nobody knew where he was, and there was actual reports that he was killed. The New York Times came out and said that he died and everything else, and they had to retract it later. But the whole conspiracy theory was so the story that the American people were given and the world was given, that he broke a tooth and he had to be rushed to a emergency dental deal, and they did a dental rework on him. But the whole conspiracy was that he met with
the aliens fixed his tooth.
Yeah. But so here, forgotten history.
By classified executive power to his successor, President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
And say, remember, Eisenhower is the one in his speech sit there and warned us about the military-industrial complex when he.
Well, that's what. Whenever you left, we were talking about it and
So-
all the manufacturing shit.
But Eisenhower supposedly, like I said, I don't know if this will
Also
tell you or
gave
not.
Eisenhower pretty hefty file concerning a top secret project called Majestic 12 that Truman established by classified executive order. Majestic 12, also known as Magic 12 and MJ 12 for short, is a code name for a secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed in 1947 to facilitate the recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft. They were also founded to work together to understand and communicate with UFOs and extraterrestrials. Majestic 12 leaked secret government documents were first circulated by ufologists and made known to the public in 1984. Having received the Majestic 12 documents, President Eisenhower was extremely interested in UFOs and ETs. There is evidence that he met with ETs secretly, in fact, at least 3 times. Once at Edwards Air Force Base in California, and twice at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. Since the Eisenhower meetings, other instances of UFO landings at or near Holloman Air Force Base have been reported. But what evidence do we have of Eisenhower's meetings? And what did Eisenhower discuss with the aliens? Let's try and find out. Hello.
So the fact of the matter is, so this he disappeared for like 3 hours. Let me get rid of this shit. So there's this whole thing of it. He met with the aliens. He was actually supposedly, the bigger conspiracy was he was met by 2 forms of aliens. He was met by ones that were going to give the ability to have peace on Earth, but there was a catch to it. He had to convince the entire world to get rid of nuclear weapons. And then the ones that we all know of, the Greys, the ones with the big eyes and the funky bodies and everything else, was basically they met also, and he was given the opportunity to have all the weapons technology, super weapons, everything else, well, the only condition was that they had to
share it.
No, he had to allow them to inhabit, basically take people from planets and do experiments and everything else. And you got to consider about that time is when all these conspiracies came out about alien abductions, or animal mutilations and everything else. That was the big strong out thing. All this shit was starting to happen. So the idea that Eisenhower met with the Greys, and took so it says content allegedly meeting. According to the theory, Eisenhower met with a Nordic aliens described as tall, fair-haired humanoids who proposed the U.S. eliminate nuclear weapons in exchange for advanced technology and spiritual wisdom. Eisenhower reportedly declined, not willing to give up the American nuclear arsenal, which back in those days, World War II just ended, everything else, and there was tension between us and Russia. And so he didn't.
Why wouldn't you give it up?
Because it's just like anything else. It's like you're not going to trust somebody that you just met. Sit there and say, "Hey, we're going to give you." It's just kind of like me say, "Hey, give me all your money, and I'll give you, I'll make sure that you're
taken care of,
taken care of for the rest of your life. You just got to give me all your money."
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. So it's the same thing. It's just like, Eisenhower says, nah, we're not going to give up our nuclear weapons, to, just on the whim of somebody that is supposedly an alien that they're saying, we're going to give you peace and wisdom. But Eisenhower reportedly declined, not willing to give American nuclear arsenal, but later claimed emerged as subsequent. Yeah, I can't even say it. I can say it in my head, but I can't say it out loud. Meetings with different alien races, and even proposed a treaty with the so-called Greys, which we know as the big-eyed, funny face, everything else. but this was just, a big conspiracy and everything else because, like I said, he disappeared for a while. Nobody knew where he was. I think the New York Times, I think it's who it was. New York Times reported him dead. Yeah. Oh, come on, you stupid piece of shit. That's what I'm saying. You got to make sure that you type in the right shit. So yeah, there was a brief but notable rumor involving President Eisenhower's disappearance in February of 1954. Oh, sorry, it was Palm Springs. During a trip to Palm Springs, while Eisenhower's absence was later attributed to an emergency dental visit, the confusion at the time led to a wire service accidentally reporting that the president had died of a heart attack. The mistaken report originated by New York was swiftly retracted within minutes once the error was realized. So they said that Eisenhower's disappearance lasted about 2 hours, fueling speculation and later inspiring conspiracy theories, considering conspiracy theories wasn't even a thing until after the JFK. But factual reasons was dental troubles, not death, secret alien meetings. The funny thing is that his daughter or his granddaughter, because she was on a YouTube video, or somebody interviewed her, a news company interviewed her, and they asked her about if she could tell us, if she could tell him anything about the meeting. And she said, yeah. She goes, there's documentation. We have documentation, but they wouldn't release it because they didn't want it to go. Yeah, so Laura Eisenhower, great-granddaughter of President Eisenhower, has publicly stated on multiple occasions she believes her great-grandfather had meetings and entered into treaties with extraterrestrials. She's exposed in the UFO and research community, blah, blah, blah. Personal claims she had shared her belief I was met with aliens and there were agreements involving technology and other exchange. Laura says that she herself has encountered with extraterrestrial, considering herself as mission to expose covert actions. But, it's just like, I mean, it's just like now. It's just like the government came out and said, oh, aliens are real. Nobody fucking cares. The story only lasted a few weeks, not even that, in the social media realm of things. But the fact of the matter is like, it makes kind of sense. I mean, if you can think about it and go past the idea of conspiracy theories and think about it, it's just like, okay, so he made a deal with the Greys thinking that, okay, we have all this technology, we're going to be the superpower, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the agreement was that the aliens, come into Earth and sit there and do experiments on humans. And, and supposedly there was later on a meeting sitting there saying that they, that the Nordic ones were still here. And they were the ones that were more human. And yeah, a lot of the stuff growing up watching movies, aliens and stuff like that, and conspiracy or reading comic books and shit like that makes people believe this kind of shit. But the fact of the matter is, once you get older and you start realizing there's actually some form of history out there that could possibly be true, and then his warning when he left office stating that be careful, the military industrial complex has too much power is basically what he was saying. And that it's going to be, that it could be used domestically and, other places.
Do you abide by this concept that capitalism will basically create something that will outdo itself and rid itself of existence?
I mean, if you go back to the Roman Empire, they were capitalists.
So I don't know if this is true. Who created AI? right? Pretty sure we were like the founding fathers in the U.S. of AI.
But actually, I'm pretty sure we were. I mean, like I said, our technology. That's the reason why, like I said, going back to Trump, is the reason why he gets pissed about all this stuff about being outsourced, is because, we created a lot of this stuff that was either stolen or sold to all these other countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our people created this stuff. You know. And if you think about it, even, not to cut you off, but if you think about it, even going to look at, what China has done by, because China has infiltrated our school system, in certain areas, and in the Canadian school system, actually, I think Canada, the Canadian school system is starting to block a lot of it, just like our country is. But we have Chinese studies here that teachers are brought in from China to teach these studies, these ethical studies on Chinese base, and they call it, I can't remember how they do it, but it's under a branch of things. We have teachings here in some of our schools here where I live that used to teach that until the superintendent stopped it. But that they were sending these teachers into our school systems, and you couldn't talk anything about the Tiananmen Square incident. You couldn't talk about anything that was against Chinese political things like that. You couldn't talk about that in those classrooms. The teachers couldn't talk about that because they reported back to a higher, authority when it came to those kind of teachings. So, I mean, like I said, those are slowly starting to disappear, but it's just kind of crazy that those were in our school systems for such a long time. And the fact of the matter is, like, all of, when we're taught, I mean, our history was, growing up now and realizing that our history was bullshit. Our history really didn't fucking teach us anything. Because like I said, I mean, every year you're taught, like in high school, I don't know if it's still that way now, but like in high school back in the day, it's just like when you go from start a new class period, your first semester is usually going over what you learned at the last of the previous year. And then the last half of the year, you're actually learning something new, and then it just repeats itself. When you go into your next year, you're learning about, a recap of what you learned off of there. I mean, you're really not learning. It's a waste of time. School is a waste of time. I'm not saying drop out, but I'm saying school is a waste of time.
I think with the world of AI, the world of internet, I think elementary, middle school, and high school are important. But outside of that, college and shit.
No, college is a scam.
Scam.
Yeah.
Scam. Honestly, I even want to say halfway through high school, scam.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can see different of that is if you're going to go into a field like being a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you want to be a doctor, you go to a doctorate school to become a doctor. Like you're not going to learn how to become a doctor in high school.
Oh, come on, I can operate.
Plumbing.
I mean,
I'll
operate.
I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express.
I will gladly cut you open and I'll pull out shit.
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. I think I can be a doctor.
Yeah.
I've seen some things in my life. I think I can handle this. Blood, not a problem.
Hey, I'm CPR certified, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too. We're set up for success here, boy.
And if not, I got a carrier permit. I can end it both ways.
The funny thing is I used to be a CPR instructor for like years, and I never got my CPR. I never got my own CPR certification because I was an instructor, so I didn't think I needed one. But legally, I could not perform CPR without that certificate, even though I taught people how to do CPR.
You shouldn't even be able to do the training without having it.
Well, I had one,
but it expired.
When I became, so I didn't need one to continue teaching it. I taught CPR for the Red Cross for years. And I did fucking CPR instructors at the fucking jails in my area and schools and everything else. But, if I had to perform CPR on somebody, I couldn't do it.
You know what's crazy now? Like, I don't know when you were taught. I was taught mid 80s, and it was always, compressions, breath. Now it's just pump away.
Well, it's because
No breath.
It's because it was because people were breathing into the belly instead of the lungs, and it wasn't making any difference.
Yeah.
Because when you're freaked out, nobody's gonna, especially with with all the diseases and everything around. Everybody gets germophobic. Things like, I ain't breathing in that mouth, because I used to.
They also came out with those little cups.
Yeah,
but stick down and.
But still, it was too hard. It was too hard to get people to get the neck just right, because the neck just has to be just right, so you're going into the lungs and not the stomach.
Yeah. 45 degree or whatever. That was like 22 something degrees. I forget what it was.
Because it's like I said, it's like I always used to tell people, it's like you'll realize when you hit the stomach and not the lungs. And they're like, how? Yeah. It's because you'll get a mouthful of vomit.
Yeah.
And they're like, ugh. And I go, yeah, so you make sure you hit the lungs. But getting people to do CPR, I used to be an emergency medical dispatcher, which is basically an EMT over the phone. And to get people to do CPR, I mean, you can't force them. You can just always say, hey, can you do CPR? It's just like, no, I'm not blowing in the mouth. I go, well, can you at least do chest compression? But then again, trying to teach people how to, if you've never done CPR, how to go down the rib cage to the sternum and then to press. And then it's just like, and then when people realize
how easy it is.
No, I mean, when people realize this is, I mean, I don't know if you've actually done CPR in anybody in real life.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, because that's one thing you got to tell people. It's like you got to realize, you got to tell people now, be prepared, because you're gonna break the sternum.
Yeah,
so when you hear a crack, because
keep going, you did it right.
Yeah, but because I know when I first did my CPR, I actually did CPR to a dead guy. But once you start, you can't stop.
My first one was on a 6-year-old kid.
Mine was an accident victim.
I was 17-year-old.
Mine was an accident victim. He had he went into diabetic coma and drove and hit a light pole. And I was riding with a deputy friend of mine, and he sits there and he goes, we get the call and he goes, you want to go? And I go, sure. We're only a couple minutes away. It was in the next county, but it was just right over the county line. So he radioed in, said he was going, and he goes, there's rubber gloves in the back. He goes, you're doing CPR? And I go, the fuck I am. He goes, I'm not trained. I haven't done my training yet. And I go, bullshit. He goes, so we get there, and there was a citizen there on scene that was doing CPR, and according to our state laws, somebody with training has to take over for somebody that doesn't have training.
Yeah.
So I took over CPR, and I cannot. So the way, like I said, the way our state laws were, you cannot stop until somebody with a higher education level in life-saving can take over, considering I was an EMD, basically an EMT, just nobody, an EMT was the only person that could take over for me.
Yeah.
And I told him that. I told my buddy that. I was like, you do realize, I go, you can't even take over for me once I start doing this. I go, because you're not certified. I'm a higher certification level than you are. So I have to wait till the actual ambulance gets here to take over.
Yeah. But if he started, you could take over for him.
Yeah.
Then you have to wait.
But he wasn't one of those type of people. So all I did was chest compressions, because we already knew he was dead, just by, he had no pulse and everything else, but we kept the heart beating until the ambulance got there, and then they took over and they did that, but they pronounced him on the way to the hospital.
Dead on scene.
Yeah. But like I said, we already knew he was dead. You could tell because he had no pulse, and just by the way he was dead before he hit the pole.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, as soon as he hit the pole, he was probably dead. Definitely.
No, they figured he went into cardiac arrest and had a heart attack from the diabetic coma, and that's what caused him to.
Yeah.
That's some scary shit, bro. Like, just all of a sudden, dead. Nah, you have no control.
I've had to give the Heimlich to people, and like compressions to people like piss drunk at bars, like in Vermont too, no less. Like I've been at
I always used to
bars,
tell
like,
people.
drinking
I always
beer,
used to tell people at the bars. It's just like when people found out, some of the people was like, "Oh, CPR." It's like, yeah, but you know what? My form of CPR to somebody that's drunk, I'm gonna kick your chest 3 times. If you stop breathing, it was nice knowing you.
yeah.
Because I am not going near your fucking face if you're 5 sheets to the wind.
We didn't. I mean,
because the first time
after
I
it's
start
so
pumping
long,
on
you
you,
don't do it.
first time I start compressions, you're gonna fucking hurl. So I'll kick you. I'll kick you 3 times in the chest, and if you don't start up, then sorry, it was nice knowing
They
you.
come from like ear up.
Yeah, it's like, did your reset button hit? Fuck yeah, no.
Yeah. We used to get shit when I used to be a dispatcher. Because being a dispatcher, you can't let things get to you. So I think that's what I made a good dispatcher, because things don't get to me. Death don't get to me. None of that shit gets to me. So it's just like when, things happen, it's just like we had a new kid or a new girl that was training on the EMS side, and we had a car versus train. And, the train hit the pickup truck, dragged the pickup truck. Truck was on fire. And so it's just like, we already, people that had been there a while already knew the dude was dead.
Oh, fuck.
And, so, we dispatched it out, got it all out there and everything else. And me and this other kid were sitting there. It's just like, call him Crispy Critter and everything else. And she got really offended by that. And she went and told our director, and my director came to me, and I sit there and I go, well, if she can't disconnect from the emotional side of things and actually, she goes, oh, she goes, you're not in trouble. She goes, I was just letting you know what she said. And it's just like, yeah, she's not going to make it as a dispatcher if she's going to be that emotionally connected to every time something happens.
And I get her side of it, because it's still a loss of life, but
yeah, but I mean, you can't take it home with you.
No, that's one job you cannot.
Because I did that. That's kind of what ended my career, because I had a baby die on me, and it was, well, the baby had been dead for a while, for a few minutes, but we got a 911 call, and the 911 it wasn't the new 911 system we have now, and so we had a 911 call, and so back then, if you moved houses, you were supposed to re-register your new number with 911.
Yeah.
So it would change in the computer system. Well, they didn't do that. They had just moved and didn't get it done. So when they called 911, it rang on their old house. So I sent EMS and police and everything to the old house. And by the time they figured out where she actually was, the baby had drowned. It was in the bathtub. But come to find, that was on my last day off too. Or my last day, so I had 4 days off. So I had 4 days to fucking sit there like, what the fuck? Did I, cause this, or what happened? Once they figured everything else, my director actually called me. She goes, no, it wasn't, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I go, thank God. So come to find out, actually she went to jail because she had walked away and left the baby in the tub. And to answer a phone call, because cell phones weren't a thing.
Yeah, there was no cell phone. Yeah.
So she went to go take a phone call and left the baby in 2 inches of water, which a baby can drown in a tablespoon of water.
Yeah. And a human can drown in 2 inches of water.
So come to find out, she went to jail for neglect.
Full size human.
So it's just like, I had a lot of crazy things. I had somebody call me one night. I know we're off topic, but we're getting ready to end anyway. So unless you all had something else.
No. I'm listening. I'm listening to the story.
But then, we had, I think the funniest one I had is it wasn't funny because of the call, but it was funny because of how the guy got caught. So we had a 911 call, domestic abuse or domestic call, sent the cops out. The guy took off running, and it was in an apartment complex. And it was a little kid and his mom. The mom sit there, and you know, was sitting there talking to this, and I could hear he was on the telephone with me because we had some type of cellular phones, but it wasn't that, not like enhanced. So he was talking to me on the phone, and I could hear the little kid in the background. You know, he was asking questions. Do you know where your dad is? Blah blah blah. He goes, no. He goes, but why don't you call him? And he goes, what do you mean call him? And he sits there and he goes, well, he took the cordless phone with him. And so I go, I could hear the silence from the officer. And I go, we're already on it. We're dialing the number back. The fucker had the cordless phone with him, and the fucking phone rang. He was hiding under a car like 2 feet away from him. So that was probably the most comical one. I don't know. I don't think I really had. I mean, we had a plane crash one night. That was kind of traumatic. You know, at 2:00 on a Sunday morning, and you know nothing else happening, and all of a sudden you get somebody calling in on 911 saying, "I think a plane just crashed." And
I had to jump out of a plane.
And I'm like, a plane just crashed. I'm sitting there going, I go, well, it had, because we had a small airport and a lot of people had private planes that they flew in and out of. And so it's just like, so I got the location kind of like where they saw the explosion. So I sent all that side of the county's fire and EMS, all because we're all volunteer in the county. So I just sent them all to that area. And I sent the sheriff and the local police in that area out there. I sat there and it's just like, you know, all units respond to a possible plane crash. And so we're on the phone with FFA, you know, and everything else, trying to figure out if there was any flights in the area. And they said, no, didn't have anything. And so with everybody out there, because I told them, it's just like, because they asked me, why are you sending everybody out? It's like, because I don't know a generalized direction. I go, I'm covering my bases. So this department's going, that department's going, and this department's going, because it's all in that centralized area where she says she saw the explosion. And sooner or later, they ended up finding the wreckage. It was a single passenger plane, you know, but it was just like, you know, it's just like, oh, fuck, you know, 2:00 in the morning, that fucking gets you hyped up for the rest of the fucking day.
Fuck yeah.
But car chases were the best one. The car chases were the most stressful because we did the mirror system. So when the officers sit there and said, you know, headed east on White Earp, we'd say, you know, we'd repeat back east on White Earp, you know, that way in case, you know, it didn't get across to the recording, our voice got across to the recording, and then plus anybody else listening knew where he was headed. But yeah, car chases, and we had a couple of armed robberies. Those were kind of stressful because you got to get a lot of fucking information. Yeah, I mean, other than the crispy critter on the train versus car, well, I had a husband called in after a wife just killed herself. And that was kind of interesting to try, because you had to sit there and basically interrogate him without knowing you're interrogating him to make sure he didn't shoot her. So keeping people on the line was probably the most hardest part of my job, because once you sit there and say help's on the way, they hang up. It's like, don't fucking hang up.
Yeah.
But yeah, people getting, you know, bloody noses or anything, kids bloody noses, parents calling 911 for a kid getting a bloody nose. Those were, it just won't stop bleeding. I've already went through 2 towels and blah, blah, blah. And I go, bath towels or hand cloths?
Punch him again.
Like, and she's like, what? I go, are you going through bath towels or are you going through hand cloths? She goes, well, it's just wash rags. And I go, okay, that's fine. If you're filling wash rags up, just keep pressure on it. And I go, now if it was bath towels that you were filling up, yeah, there's a bigger problem. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed dispatch. It was interesting. I hate the way call centers operate nowadays, because I think you lose out on response time. But no, those are my stories. Yeah. All right. Where the fuck did Snow go?
I don't know.
Frankie.
He had to poop.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I wouldn't even know what's going on the political side of shit. I haven't paid attention to nothing here lately. But it's been nice. It's been really nice to stay away from it. I mean, I kind of pop on Twitter every once in a while just to see what bullshit's going on. But
What's Twitter?
X.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, it's the big
I don't-
social media app.
Don't have one of them.
Yeah, don't need one.
Yeah, that's the sixth time you said that.
I'm back. I gotta give him shit because eventually he's not gonna be around me no more. I would be
But-
so sad, and the only way I'm gonna get to talk to him is on podcasts and text messages.
Same thing. We talk all the time on text messages, so nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, but then your schedule's gonna change, and it's gonna be all weird.
Why'd you quit?
I'm not gonna be scared. Apparently, you're gonna be scared.
Why you guys? Oh, because of your different schedules or what?
Yeah, that's it. We're still live, so we're not talking about that right now.
Now you're scared, huh?
No, I don't give a fuck. I'm putting my 2 weeks in, bitches.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be what? You're gonna be one of those that's gonna be a lifer.
No. Well, I mean, you never know. I'm gonna take a playbook out of his and do the same thing he did and see what happens. But I'm gonna say you have 3 days to decide.
Yes, it's flat, 100% confirmed.
Yeah.
Why is it flat? The more 76. What makes you think it's flat? I don't know. I mean, there's so many things out there. I still say we live in a Truman story.
There's some good retaliations on it, right? And all we know is what we're told to know.
Yeah.
Right? Outside of the aspects of like individuals that think outside the box. So listen, there had to be some truth to it, or those pyramids wouldn't have been built.
Wow.
And precise locations to align with the stars and align with this and align with that.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
they
another
also
thing.
They also said slavery started with America. How do you think those pyramids were built?
Hold on.
That was from alien technology, levitation.
It's still slavery.
No, it was levitation. There was no slaves.
Yeah.
But sound waves.
I'll be right
Look into
back.
that. Look into
Yeah.
sound waves. No, seriously, look into sound waves and some of the theories that are based on the sound waves that caused the pyramids to be built that way. Confirmed gained altitude shows Orion rising at eye level. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I always question the idea. I mean, it's just like somebody was talking. I've seen another thing today. We were talking about all this crap that's going across my TikTok feed here lately. But there was another thing that came about. It's just like cell phones. You know, they lie to you about our cell phone data being used by satellites. And I didn't think about this until I heard that today. It's like, yeah, that is true. Because if it was a satellite thing, you think that we would not have dead spots in our cell service. You know, you think that we'd always have some type of a connection no matter where we go, and if our phones were actually done off a satellite.
I think we have a disconnect between individuals that think they know how big this world is and what is actually real. Like, we have a conceptualized space of knowledge and thought processing that we think we know how big the world is, and based off of miles and this metric system and this system. Individually, I don't think we actually can conceptualize it unless we're up in the air. You know, if you're on an airplane, you realize, holy shit.
But you would think if you think too, if you were, our fucking Twitch count's going up now. You would think that if you were up in the air, you'd be able to see a curvature.
Why?
Well,
We
why
can
would
only
you not?
see a certain amount of miles.
I know, but you think you'd think that there would be some type of a concave if it was actually.
Yeah, but how many? The only, if you
Well,
really think about it, the only person can see a concave, it would be the pilot, because you're looking at the side of it.
No,
You're not looking straight ahead.
our eyesight can only see so far. Our eyesight is upside down. So why would we see a curvature?
Can you
And who
read
says
that
we
damn
can't?
chair?
It says you would see the curvature within 3 miles from the ground.
No, you wouldn't.
What? What meth are you smoking?
No, you would.
I
3
gotta
miles is not
10
that
times
long.
around
You could
the
take a
earth.
fucking hot air balloon and see it fucking 3 miles.
I mean, I can. No, I mean, you can. You can see. You can see. So you can see. I know, like on a clear day, driving truck and shit like that. On a clear day, you can see more than a couple of miles. You can see quite a few miles down the road.
Yeah, but so you're saying because you're a truck driver that you can see a curvature in the road?
No, he says
Of course you can.
you would be able to if it was curved.
That's not true.
Why?
You're
Mr. MIT?
No, but you're 3 miles up, right? That's not really that high. How high are we going to do planes?
What
30,000
fucking
feet?
truck are you driving in the fucking hovering?
No, he said 3,000 feet in a plane before he said. Oh, he said truck?
When the fuck are you? You're not even reading chat, so how in the hell do you know what we're saying?
I don't. I don't.
We're going off of what you're saying.
Well, it's in the chat. All you got to do is hit the comments. It's right there.
I don't have the chat for that.
Yeah, you hit comments and it shows the chat if you were at your desk.
Maybe let's see. I had to get another beer because I saw Frank got one, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm getting one too."
So until you're upside down to break it down into pieces. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I always wonder. It's like I said, where, even like if you're driving a flat plane, you would think that sooner or later you would. I'm with you. You think you would see a curvature because we can see a good 3 to 5 miles on a clear day.
Yeah, but how are you gonna know it curves?
There's nothing.
If you go
flat in the
uphill,
universe.
downhill, and like this all day.
I said on a flat plane.
There's no flat planes.
I mean, the only
You've
flat
never
plane-
been to Kansas.
Yeah, or
You've
you
never
go
been to
across-
Nevada.
think it's
You've
flat.
never been to Arizona.
I say you go across salt flats. It's flat.
It's flat.
But
There's
it's-
nothing straight.
But then it goes uphill.
There's no such thing as a straight line. There's always bumps.
All right,
Good,
so the next time you come down here, we'll take a drive between here and
Cool.
we'll take a drive between fucking Enid,
been out
Oklahoma to Guyman, Oklahoma, and you will see nothing but flat.
What's the Bolivian salt flats?
Bolivia?
Salt flats. Oh yeah, the only salt flats I know are in.
So we're just
Why-
going off
and
of
why
Google
do you think they're
Universe.
called flats? Because it's flat. They're not called flats just because it was a word they come up with. It's because it's flat. It's
Oh,
flat
is it?
ground.
The Bolivian salt flats are the largest in the world. Ah, that's pretty interesting. That's
Even
cool.
the salt flats in Salt Lake City is flat.
Yeah, oh, it's flat.
That's cool. There's no such thing as a straight line. The systematic there.
There might be like a few centimeters to make
So-
it not a straight line, but what I'm talking about, the line of sight,
Again, we are limited on our line of sight. So how can we know that?
But why wouldn't it even start to curve? Why would you not see a curvature even after like 5 miles?
Because you're not even conceptualizing the size of this fucking Earth in our line of sight.
Horizon. This is. Do you see what Thermore 76 saying? Horizon is horizontal. The sea level is level. D.
Largest flat plans. The ball is way too small. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it's like, I mean, if the world is supposed to, if the Earth is supposed to, I mean, I understand physics. I understand there's physics, and I mean, I don't understand physics, but I mean, I understand there's physics and everything else involved in all this other crap and scientific bullshit that we've been told to believe. That. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I believe, I don't even believe in science because science is made up. Science is created by somebody that thought they knew what they were talking about back in the day. Plain and simple. I mean, everything we know is made up by somebody that thought they knew, self-proclaimed what they thought they knew.
But you got to think back in the day, people.
Not to mind you, but yeah, fun question. No, I mean, I have ever since I was a kid. I've always.
Well, like what Plato, I think it was, who said, I think it was Plato or something like that, said the Earth was round. How the fuck did he know it back then?
How did all of them knew? I mean, you have what who's the dude with Galileo? You had all of them.
Yeah, he was the astronomer guy, right?
Yeah,
Galileo. Yeah.
No, not the dude from the Queen song, but the fact, it's just like all these everything. History is made up of people that are self-proclaimed.
So many lies.
People.
Many liars. Crude with sticks and shadows.
I think that's kind of a lie.
And then,
I mean, even if you watch the sun don't move in an arc; it moves.
So they just made up something and said, "Yep, that's just the truth," and everybody believed it.
Well, they also say the sun moves around the Earth, so it's not going to move in the same curvature as the Earth. It's going to move on a different.
And we don't move in it. We don't rotate in an oval either. We rotate or we don't rotate in a circle either. We rotate in an oval.
Yeah.
So you just disproved what you just said.
No, I'm just saying. I said that's what they say. We rotate in an oval and not in a circle. That's how the world. That's how they say the world rotates. We rotate like this, not like this.
But the sun rotates around us in a circle.
Apparently. But again, there's, slowly shit is getting disproved. I mean, like the whole thing with hold a pencil up and try moving the pencil in 5 directions at the same time. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like I've never been a true believer of anything science says. I mean, that's the reason why. It's like even when I took psychology, it's just like, okay, it's just like I don't believe in a lot of shit that psychology teaches you either. Because of the fact of the matter is because psychology, every expert is not an expert. They're just a self-proclaimed expert.
Well, like Thermo said, they claim 5 motions of the Earth, different directions, different speeds. Well, how is that possible? It's one object.
Well, and it's also just like, okay, so we switch directions and now we're rotating, so shouldn't we be going backwards in time?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, if you watch Superman, that's what happens. He goes up into space and reverses the Earth, and we always go back in time. So why, since the Earth turned around and started going back in reverse, why are we not going back in time?
Well, Superman is fake.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It makes sense, though. If you
He just
reverse,
put LOL.
if you reverse something, it makes sense. If you reverse something, it should go back.
That's not
Shit
true.
should be doing something different.
Just because
Not
the
staying the
Earth
same.
turned the other direction doesn't mean you go back in time.
No, but I mean,
Time
there
is
should
a
be
construction
some type of a change.
concept. Yeah, I know.
What's changed?
What hasn't changed in the last several years? I don't know when the fucking Earth changed. Sorry.
Just a couple of years
I'm not
ago.
a scientist. You're not a scientist. We're not scientists. We're just talking.
No, just a couple of years ago.
The eye.
It's Illuminati.
Red eye.
Yeah, it's Illuminati.
That's the Illuminati
eye.
symbol. It's the all-seeing. Yeah, it's Illuminati.
Yeah.
I knew it was my mom
I
watching
know
me all
it
this
is.
time.
My mom told me today, be nice to people, else you're gonna pay for it.
Hey, do you know anything about whenever that big old solar fucking event happened? To where, like, I think this happened.
I know what
hundreds
it
of years
was
ago.
there, Thermo.
No, he doesn't. He's just saying that.
No, I did.
Basically, a
What-
giant solar flare hit the Earth, and you know how we have like this big magnetic field on this side, big magnetic field on this side,
But we have poles in the middle.
and we're sitting there moving around the Earth. And
Actually,
whatever
if
that
the Earth
flare
is round, actually the protection, it's actually at the South and North Pole. It actually dips. There's actually a sphere on both ends that shit can get through.
That's what I'm discussing. The sphere on the front end as we're moving around that kind of deflects most of the shit that hits us from other planets and shit. That fucking basically got demolished during this time. And I think it aligns with a lot of the bullshit that occurred with a lot of the changes. I just don't remember what year it was, but there was this big thing that happened. I just forget
Let's
what they
see what
call it.
Thermo says. He probably knows.
Sure.
I'm honestly, it's like I told you the other day. I'm really. The
Listen,
moon is
I'm
a white
open
rabbit
to a
with tracing, right?
conversation.
No,
but
wait a minute. No, the moon is its own spacecraft because the moon has been told. We have been told that the moon can leave at any time because it appeared out of nowhere. Because we did not used to have a moon for a long time, according to
science.
It just appeared out of nowhere one
So
day.
now you're believing science?
No, I'm just saying.
No, that's like hypocritical to your point.
I'm just repeating what people say. I never said I believe the moon is not real or the blue. I just sit there and said they said the moon can leave us at any time. Just
But
because
how
I
can-
say something doesn't mean that I believe it. I'm just
How
saying what people
could
have said.
and just in theory, how could the moon leave if it's in our orbital
apparently
attraction area, if you say?
Because they say it's a spaceship because it's hollow. They have figured that out. I mean, they supposedly sent sound waves up there and detected that the fact of the matter that it has a metallic surface to it because it reflected back, and there was an echo kind of like of a bell they heard or something like that in it, and that's.
But what if that's just the spaceships from what's his name? And they are mocking, like they're blocking our signals so they can't tell who they are.
Are you talking about Elon Musk?
No, like aliens.
Zuckerberg?
No, just aliens.
Fucking biological mom up there? Fucking
Yeah.
real ass?
The moon
No,
is only
from
light in the
from the
sky
guy,
that moves
our
physical.
president.
When you question all the
From
natural
our
ability, you quick
president
find out it's
said
not a rock in the sky.
he got abducted. What if that's just the planet from where they are, just watching over us?
I mean, I think we can all agree everything's a lie, everything's made up. We just try to conceptualize every thought and idea to make sure that we just continue living on so that we don't have to stress over life.
Well, I mean, no, just like he says. I mean, that's one thing we were talking about earlier, or we were going to talk about, but we got off on a bunch of other subjects. But the fact is, like, there's rumors about how
blind
we cannot, as human beings, we cannot go outside of the Earth's radiation field. So that's one of the things is like the reason why they say that the moon landing was fake, that the reason why the space station
that was
faked.
absolutely faked.
And
the moon landing was faked for sure.
And the fact of the matter that there's been people have been doing their whole investigative tools on pictures and videos from the space stations. Why is such and such doing this and that's not doing that? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it could be a possibility, when we send people up to space. I mean, you think about it. Yes, I believe that our satellites go up into space, but the fact of the matter is like, how do they know all this? It's like, how do they know that there's, the asteroid belt? How do they know that? Have we flown anything into the asteroid belt that has given shit back? Or are we just hypotheticalizing that there's something actually out there, That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't think us as human beings have ever, not this generation of human beings, within the last. Well, I'm talking about with, what we know as creation of human beings, has been in outer space. I don't think we have, as a human being, I don't think we have actually left the planet.
Well, I kind of agree with you. I think there's definitely we've sent shit out past it, but there's no human being out past that. Like a certain place, right? I don't think. Why is everybody at this, International Space Station? Why don't they go out further? Why don't they build a craft that can sit there and propulse itself off the International Space Station outwards into the universe? Why don't they refuel there and go further?
I mean, if you think about it, even look at the car that Elon supposedly shot up into space.
They're
Tesla.
pussies. That's
why. It's only in like our layer of orbit, supposedly. It's not out anything further. Yeah, if we could build a space station, why can't we build something on the moon? Why have we not been to the moon? Why has not another human being supposedly been to the moon since the first moon landing?
I almost question whether or not they're building robots.
Looks so fake, it must be real. Yeah.
To do that. Like, to build stuff elsewhere.
Elon said it looks too fake to be real. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that somebody brought up to Elon is it's like, why don't you put robots onto Mars? Since you want to go to Mars, why don't you send robots and AI and everything else to Mars and start building it and getting everything ready with the robotics, to be inhabitable by humans again.
Yeah.
You can program.
Make it inhabitable. Make them build.
I mean, why are we even sending real people up to Mars anyways when we have all these robots? Why are we not shooting robots up into space? I mean, hell, we supposedly sent a fucking chimp up into space. Why can't we send robots?
I have another weird hypothesis here. So if it takes these spaceships out there in the universe to send pictures back as they're flying back or away from the Earth so long for it to reach us, it doesn't make sense. Like, none of that shit makes sense. So we're taking pictures of the universe just from Earth, and then taking light years for that light to just appear on a picture. What?
Well, okay, good example. What the fuck is a light year? How is space different than here if it's real?
There's no medium. That's what they like to excuse it for, right? There's no medium. There's nothing there. Something's got to be there.
Well, the best part is if you guys. Well,
black hole.
Think about it this way, though. you got to think about they're traveling, say, super fast speeds, right, to get into space, and they can talk to those people the whole time. But once they get there, there's nothing.
Just like,
And then
the moon landing.
now
right?
we can talk on our headsets, but nothing else
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. But you're thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking miles away from the Earth. Well, you got Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah, you got
You
your
just sitting
fucking.
there.
You got
Hey,
your
ladies and gentlemen,
got
boys and
your-
girls,
whatever
I'm
that
here on the
company is.
moon.
Yeah.
What?
And a good question is like, we have communication satellites in space. Why do we lose communications when we're in space?
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
even if, how do we reconnect it?
Our Earth.
Allegedly.
On Earth, we push off air, water, land. All things have mass. There's nothing to
So
push
you
off
got
in space. Maybe
wavelength
there you go.
going through nothing?
Maybe
That
the
doesn't
force
even
be
make
with you.
sense to get to a place. So, like, wavelengths have to have a medium to go through. Like, in our atmosphere, allegedly, we have a medium. Like, whenever we're sitting here talking, right? There's a server processing our vocal cords through a medium, through our headphone or our mic to you, to your headset, right? There's a medium that our Bluetooth goes to our computer, right? For our headset, if you have a Bluetooth headset. So these motherfuckers are in outer space. Allegedly, there's no medium for these wavelengths to cross into this outer space. What are you talking about that you can sit here and hold a press conference on the shuttle? Are you fucking bonkers here? We're just getting this technology now for Bluetooth. What do you mean you could send radio waves and shit back to the space station in Florida, and you are on the fucking moon, and I can't get good connection on my phone?
Not allowed.
What are you talking about, dude? That's a lie.
They got 5G up there on the moon, bro.
Dude, they got the 18 Gen K, whatever they fucking made up.
So I was
There's
looking at
no
this.
way.
It's like, so I was kind of curious. It's like how fast a rocket travels. So a rocket needs to travel 17,000 miles an hour to enter the Earth's low orbit. To escape Earth's gravity and enter deep space, rocket must reach 25,000 miles per hour, known as Earth's escape velocity.
So what was the girl thing?
Now, so the Blue Origin space reached altitudes of 62 miles above Earth's surface.
Earth's
So they were still in the
They
safe
only went to
zone.
what they call the Kármán
Safe
line.
zone.
Yeah,
Safe
the edge
zone.
of space.
Yeah.
So it's the reason why they didn't need spacesuits and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So the fastest unmanned. So
Still give them credit.
Katy Perry.
They still
So,
went
yeah.
up there. I still give them credit. They still went up there.
you think she went up there to contact, so she could get above, so she could contact her home planet?
Yeah, probably like breast surgeon or something.
She probably has like no eyeballs. She got fake eyeballs.
Well, you
Katy
saw it.
Perry.
You saw the whole thing where she does the little glitch in her eye, right?
Yeah, I did. That's why he brought it up, bro.
She had to
That's
get
some amazing
reprogrammed.
So the
Yeah,
moon,
them
the
aliens
moon
broke
mission,
her
the
ass for
Apollo
sure.
mission. So this is it. The Apollo mission says the spacecraft covered approximately 240,000 miles to reach the moon, making it a 3-day at a typical transport orbit speed.
Okay,
So-
if there's no propulsion, there's no way to sit there and actually move the vehicle in a certain direction on where you want it. There's just no way. There's no medium for propulsion to actually work. There's nothing in space, allegedly.
Yeah, that's what he says. It says
Right.
on Earth we have air. On Earth we push
gravity.
off air. We push off water, land, all things that have mass. There's nothing to push off in outer space. So yes.
Spaceballs.
That's why they can't have
Mel Brooks made
this-
fun of
That is true. That is true. The stop
it
button.
is. Yeah.
There's no actual like. Even if they did, like, let's just say, like Star Wars, for example, right? They have these space shuttles.
You might need to
dock
have
up,
this guy on the podcast, Rebel.
like they dock up onto this space place thing machine that's floating through the Earth or the worlds in existence, and then they just fly off like
Hyperspeed.
So there's just nothing up there. Like you can't.
Andrew, do you know the movie Spaceballs?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I'm not like trying to be a dick or anything. I'm just curious because
I know
as we get
about
older,
it. I don't know if I think I've watched it before, but if
Mm.
you ask me questions about it, I won't remember it.
May the Schwartz be with you.
I've watched too much shit in my years to.
It's one of the greatest.
What was
Star
John
Wars
Candy's role? Oh, Barf.
Barf. Yeah.
The Winnebago in space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Barf and what was the princess's name? Can't remember, but yeah, it was. They're actually in the process of making Spaceballs too. I don't know if it'll be
I
done
heard.
before he dies. but
I don't know if I'll ever watch it. I don't know.
But no, I mean, there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense. That's why I'm saying you have these self-proclaimed people that
Space or Steve Carell.
You know what? I saw that movie. I saw that series, and I always thought that was fake until I realized there really is a Space Force. I was totally fucking dumbfounded when I found that out because I don't pay attention to that shit very much.
Talking about the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a real Space Force too.
Yeah. You haven't seen there's actually like you can enlist. You can like go online and enlist in the Space Force.
Yeah.
Well, we're the first country.
Things.
We're the first country to have a space military aspect to it. We want to be the first on everything. That's the United States motto, apparently.
But see, I mean, it's kind of a strategic thing, though, because if you think about it, we had the space race back in the 60s trying to get, to moon. So we faked the space race to make the Russians think we were going to be there first. So if we make all these countries think we're going to be there first, and they try to go ahead and actually do it, try to do it, and they burn up in the atmosphere, it's just population control, dudes.
Why do you think? I question mark the.
It's a good global takeover. Let them all fucking try it.
Yeah.
I think it works worse in our favor though than it does theirs, because we realize they can't do it, and then most of us die first.
We're the only people that can have that opinion. There's people in there's other countries can't have an open opinion or discussion with individuals in their countries about whether their facilities are being falsified or not.
Yeah, we were talking about the Concorde and
country
the SR-71.
I could say that.
Yeah.
What was that? Well, there was a movie with the SR-71. What was that movie with that dude that he was like a special? It was like either a movie. Oh, what the fuck was it? It's gonna drive me crazy because I remembered watching it.
Prime has it, I'm sure. Might have to pay some money.
I think it was made like back in the early 90s.
We don't have to pay for it. It's Prime.
Yes, we do.
But there was I think it was a TV series.
Well, if it's Prime, but if it's a rental on Prime, you do. But yeah, I don't know. But like the SR-71, I was infatuated with that growing up because it looked like a fucking spaceship. You had the fucking needles coming out. You had the
Thunderbirds
propulsions on the side.
Yeah.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
That's the one I was probably talking about earlier, and I said that looks like that one plane. It's probably the Thunderbird.
So, in a way, it is getting late, so I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but
oh, let's hear it. Big Banks, here we go. I'm just fucking with you.
Is it good that we spend this amount of money on this type of military shit?
No.
I think it is. First off, I
On
think it
fake
is.
shit.
On advancements in technology in the aerospace and the military complex.
But how's it an advancement if we've, like, from what you said, you don't think we've ever been there? So, how's it
I'm
an
not talking about
advancement?
space per se,
Oh.
but whenever you try to advance something, you tend to create new things.
Correct.
So it's an advancement.
But is it an advancement if you already said we're there? Like, you want advanced spacecraft.
No, I'm just talking about flight. I'm talking about advancements in technology. I'm talking about advancements in progression of the world. You know, if we spend all this money and resources on these specific things in flight and, you know, military, new guns and new things like that, like, is that a good thing? I want your opinion. I'll shut up and let you say what you think.
I think any advancement in military strategy is okay, but that's not directly what we were talking about before. So, yeah, I don't
Keep
see
in mind,
any.
we have a space force too, so that's
Yeah,
military.
I don't see anything like necessarily bad about it, but it also has to come with a force to say comply with regulations. Like, I don't feel like our government should have unlimited spending on people's money to just do what they want. You know, like, I think there has to be some kind of repercussions or like spending caps to where they can be like, you know, instead of spending $4.6 trillion, oh, you're only allowed to spend 4.4 billion. You know, like, there's got to be some kind of
Okay.
regulatory repercussions
How much
to
do you
that.
think China pays for advancements
I
in
don't give a fuck
technology?
what China pays for.
You do if they come over here and take over the United States and you have no opinion of your own
They will
anymore.
never
Be
be able
gone.
to come over and take over our country. Never. It'll never, ever, ever happen.
Sure. In your opinion.
It'll
Go ahead and
never
put that in
happen.
there.
It'll never happen. Guarantee it. Mark my words.
Sure.
You can write that in the books. China will never come to this country and take over the United States. It'll never, ever, ever happen. They might take it over maybe financially, which is already in happening, but they will
Guess what
never take
happens
it over
when they take over
militarily.
finances?
Well, they won't take it over militarily.
So if they take over finances, can you spend any money on military?
It won't happen. Trust me.
Sure, I'll take the word of a guy that's sitting here fucking drinking 27 Yinglings. I love you to death, but you can't say it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
Airplanes just get lower and slower. Yeah, I was gonna say, because we were looking up like the fastest jets, and it's just like there was one that did like Mach 6, and then with the SR-71, and then this one here only does I think the fastest one now, he said, what was Mach 2.3. It's like,
Yeah.
why did we lower our ability to fly fast? That's kind of crazy.
Sound.
That's probably what he was saying about before, like the noise pollution.
But if you go high enough, you don't hear it. The only time you hear the sound barrier
They
is when
didn't
you're
know
low.
that whenever that law was put in place.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Because I mean,
There's rules
well,
and
no, that's the
regulations
reason
that
why.
have been
When they
updated over 80
when they
years.
stopped the sound barrier test, they started flying higher altitudes. Because like I said, the Mach 2 planes and stuff like that, they all fly higher altitudes so they don't create the disturbance.
I'm just saying, like for commercial access to these things,
Oh, they would never be
they had
commercial.
laws against it. Well, it is now. Well, they're currently creating it now.
Well,
with
yeah,
Trump
but
putting that executive order in.
you can't.
You can.
You can, but you can't. You got to be careful too, because if you go like, what was the Concorde, Mach 1 something? I mean, that's about as fast as you can fly without. Because anything over, what is it? Anything over Mach 2, you start to lose consciousness.
Yeah.
So you can't go very fast in a commercial plane because you're not going to get people.
You wake up, all your passengers pass out. Like, hey, wake up.
I mean, there's even jet pilots that
You
pass
say
out
you can't,
while they fly.
but there's a company out there doing it right now. Or I'll say this, attempting to do it right now. They have 180 orders from American Airlines, Delta, fucking.
Not for Mach 2 though.
Oh, probably not. But like breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah, Mach 1.1.
Yeah, but there's no commercial flights out there doing Mach 1 because we've had federal regulations on all this for years and years and years because some company out there didn't want that, noise pollution or some shit, so it can't happen.
No, it probably happened like a state governor or something. They testing these over my house, and that's how it stopped.
Right. Okay. So the Concorde was the only one
that
that the Concorde's the only one that's had the supersonic. That's the only ones that have done it.
Yep.
And I think they had two or three planes because they were so expensive, but they only used one for them. They did have a crash back in 2000. That's the one. That's where it started. The main reason why they stopped is because of high operating costs and low passenger demand. So if you have low passenger demand, what are you going to do? I mean, yeah, the new generation of business people might, but why was there a low?
If you create a demand for something that creates something that allows you to go from point A to point B, and you make it affordable in a sense, because business class is still expensive, but for our regular folk, our opinion truly doesn't matter unless we got that type of money. But there's a lot of people with a lot of money now because we've created that separation of working class and poor people and rich people.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
times have changed.
Well, yeah, but they changed again because now people are not wanting to. Because one of the biggest things was, like I said, the high ticket prices. Because I asked, why was the low passenger demand? So it's driven primarily because of exorbitant high ticket prices. Because there's high fuel consumption.
$20,000 for the lowest price ticket.
So,
and it wasn't comfortable. Their seats were absolute trash.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's been no aviation commercially advancements in the U.S. without Boeing. So basically, Boeing has marketed itself as the only company you go to for airplane manufacturing in the U.S.
Let's see how they're planning on marketing. So its target audience, business and premium travelers, initial routes and marketing are targeting frequent business class and first class travelers who value time savings and efficient booms. Overture promises transatlantic flights such as New York to Paris in under 4 hours, less than half the current travel time. But so what is...
Like I said, I can send you guys this entire podcast. He talks about it and everything. You can believe it. You don't have to believe it. But I just think
I know
good
it
thing.
is a company. They are planning on doing it, so I believe you that they're doing it. I'm just sitting there saying I don't think it'll be.
No, it's not going to be for us regular folk.
It's not gonna. It'll be just like the Concorde. It'll be good for a few years, and then it'll fizzle out.
I may have to disagree with that.
Are you gonna buy a ticket?
Doesn't have to be me.
I'm just
Why
saying.
does it have to be me?
I'm just asking. Will you buy a ticket?
I won't.
No. Why would I have to buy a ticket to go to Paris?
That's what I'm saying, though.
Who's it being marketed to? People that value their time.
But that's what the Concorde was marketed to.
Mm-hmm. Be there quick and fast for the rich.
Because $2,000 in the 1990s
was like
$10,000 today.
Yeah.
So, like I said, with only the richest people in the world is only like not even that, it's like 0.09% of the population, or 9% or 0.9% of the population.
What are you doing, baby?
I don't know if they could. I mean, I guess if there was enough people that wanted to go to Paris every day, they might be able to. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying I don't know, in a business standpoint, in a marketing standpoint, it'll probably be good for a while.
I think it'll be a good thing for us to advance our air travel for us regular folk. If that becomes a big thing, then eventually, potentially, it could advance. Well, right now we have Airbuses. That's basically what it is. Slow-moving aircraft through the air.
Yeah. They only travel up to 700 miles an hour.
So why haven't we created more advancements? When it comes down to political standpoints of their regulations.
Well, regulations, and plus it also costs a shit ton of money to fly one of those.
Okay,
it's just like your car. It's just like if you. It's just because of cost. It costs too much to fly.
Business practices.
It's also the price of fuel right now. Jet fuel costs more than our fuel.
Probably triple.
It's the reason why flight prices have increased, is because of the price of fuel. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the main reasons why the Concorde quit, is because of the price in fuel.
So one of the main reasons I stopped jumping out of airplanes is because it costs so much.
I mean, it's just like you take your car, you drive your car at a steady 55 mile an hour from point A to point, from end to end, from beach to beach, and you're going to save money. I mean, they've tested that out several times, and they did that back in the 50s and the 60s with the truckers. They figured out that 55 mile an hour was cheaper on gas than it would be if you went over 55 mile an hour. So you think about it. So now you take that 55 mile an hour, you start at the same point, and you just keep your foot on it for the whole time. You're not going to make it as far.
Well, why do you think they also, I feel like it's one of the reasons why they put in, like, say you get on an interstate, instead of doing it so many miles, like say at 55, or they do kind of do it around the 55 mile an hour range, but if you do 75, like, oh, I don't need it. And it's like, you get in between, it's like, oh, fuck, I should have stopped that gas.
Yeah, anything over 55 mile an hour in a car, in a vehicle, they realize consumes more gas. I mean, that's the way the combustion engine works.
Even though the speed limits on those roads are 65 to 75.
Well, they do that because, I mean, the fuel companies have a lot to do with that. The fuel companies have a lot to do with the way roads are designed. Would you shut up? They have a lot to do with, this, what you think is a scenic overlook to keep your mind occupied, but you're driving, so why the hell are you paying attention to scenery anyways? But a lot of that has to do when you're going up and down mountains and over and everything else. It's a lot to do with the oil companies because your car's going to use more gas.
Yeah. Well, at least some of the roads where I live, that's like some of the only passes you could take.
Well, no, I mean when you get to the
They
mountain
were like
ranges and shit
horse
like
and
that,
carriage, So it's like they used them. They wide them as best
But-
as they can. But
so
where
again,
you
that
live
goes
in the plains,
Well, no, I mean we're not. I don't live in the plains anymore. But what I'm saying, because we're hilly and mountainy down here where I live. I mean, like I was saying though, that's another thing though. You're talking about like when we go back to air travel and stuff like that. You look at it, it's just like, okay, so why don't we have yes, I understand there's hills, mountains, and everything else, but we built tunnels through mountains. We built shit like that through mountain ranges. But so why, when you go to a scenic overlook, they build these roads curvy for a reason. It's not because the people that own the land, when the government owns the land or whatever they build the road, owns the land, says, no, you can't build a straight road. They build it curvy for a reason, is because sooner or later you're going to need more gas because when you turn your wheels on a car, it takes away your gas mileage. When you go up a hill, it takes away your gas mileage. It's just like, I mean, a lot
but
of
you can't have a scenic overview, like say now typical scenic overviews, right? You can't have one on a flat ground, because then, how scenic is it? You just look at a cornfield.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. But you're driving. Why are you paying attention to the scenery, anyways? If you're supposed to be keeping your eyes on the road.
Well, no, they make these little pull-offs.
I'm not talking about the stops. I'm talking about just because we have these down here. They use them for the motorcycle stuff. They use them for motorcycle rides. There's a bunch of windy stuff that goes through the Ultralido Mountains down here. That is a pretty scenic route.
Like up here, they do scenic overviews, but it's actually like a pull-off. There'll be a
Yes, a scenic overview is, but a scenic expressway or a roadway isn't. It's you go through like trees and things like that. Different.
Yeah, but we were just okay. So I misunderstood because we were talking about scenic overviews.
Well, I mean, just scenic drives. Scenic drives is what I meant. Overviews just came in. Yes. Technically, to your point, you are correct, but like I said, it's
yeah. I get what you're saying.
When you're driving,
now that you said that, yes, yeah.
But if you're pulling over, no, you're not going to be wasting gas. I mean, that wouldn't make sense, So that's why I was saying. I just figured you would connect the dots when I said, you're driving and wasting gas going around the scenic over routes.
There's a really good one up here by us. It's called Eagle's Nest.
But no, I mean, like I said, I mean, the whole, I mean, I'm happy for it. I mean, if they can make the technology and they can make it here, that's great. That just means
all manufactured in-house.
Yeah.
All engine parts in the U.S.
Well, it's funny because, people talk about that. It's just like, oh, where's these planes going to get to part? Do you realize here where I live, the bulk of airplane parts are made right here?
Yeah, again, there's airplane parts being made across the whole entire United States, and it takes 18 months to get a single propeller. So, our issue is the military-industrial complex on manufacturing parts is all over the country.
Well, yeah, military takes precedence, yes.
That's not what I said.
No, that's what I was saying. You were saying why it takes so long.
Manufacturing in our country is all over the United States, and not just military.
No, that's not what I was saying. These companies like Boeing and all these other places like American Airlines, when they build shit, military takes precedence over civilian. That's the reason why civilian aircraft takes longer to build, is because military aircrafts are on top of the board. So when the military orders 15 jets and their airlines orders 7 buses, the jets are going to come before the buses are made. Because the contracts, the government's paying them more.
A lot more. But that's
But
still,
yes,
I don't think,
we do
I
have
don't think that
several.
really has anything to do with what Frank was saying. He was more to saying it's ridiculous. It takes 17 months to get
Create
like, or
something that
18 months to get
can
a
be created in
part.
24 hours.
Yeah.
How
On
can
a
it be
I think
made in
that was
24
more to
hours?
his point. But
A propeller. Listen, I'm not going to argue the point of a CEO
No,
of
I'm
a
not
company
arguing
and all
nothing.
that.
You're arguing. I'm just trying to get your point. There's not an argumentative tone coming out of me. I'm actually curious why you think that would take 24 hours to
Sorry,
make
my
a
words are
propeller.
incorrect on that. But I'm just saying, I sent you the link to the podcast. You're welcome to listen to it and see what you think. I would love to know your thoughts.
I'm
on it
not
after listening.
doubting. I'm not doubting you at all about this Boom Technology company. It's a great thing. I'm
That's
stoked for
great,
it.
but I'm not intellectual enough on airplane mechanics,
Neither am I.
business aspects, and everything like that to counteract every living point that you have. And you know what? You might be correct, and I
Why
respect
are you getting
it.
mad? I'm just asking questions. I guess I
I'm
figured
not being
you knew
mad.
something more because I didn't know nothing about this until you brought it up. So that's why I was asking questions. I figured you did the research on them and were.
I listened to it today. That's right.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. This is the first time I've ever heard of this company. So
No, what I think is good is for us to actually be advancing our companies in the United States,
yes,
and not sitting here hindering advancements of these things that could potentially help us progress as a country.
yes.
Like one thing I will say is like Democratic side has always hindered advancements in technology and everything else like that. All they cared about was the health market. And in reality, the health market has cornered everything and had us.
Because that's where the money's at.
But it's fake money being given to these companies from the American people. So why aren't we looking to advance technology? Why aren't we looking to advance infrastructure? And this is part of the Republican side. We all know that side part of it. But
and two,
it's all about handing shit to people on one side, and then there's how about we advance all the people on this other side, and like we battle back and forth, not between us. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that we're arguing, but I don't know the information to discredit you because you might be right. I don't know. I don't know at the end of the day what is the best with that. I just thought it was very intellectually inclined and in the aspect of like, yeah, I think that's a great idea that we would stop outsourcing to China. We stop outsourcing to other countries that take all this time to manufacture these parts. And even in the USA, our manufacturing has been outsourced to other countries than it had to be because we refused to spend the money to actually create it in the US.
But that goes
when
what I backed before what I said is that they literally take that long to build it because they want to know our technology. And then they send it back to us like, oh, we did this in 2 days. See you later.
And that's where I say 24 hours. I don't know if it's 24 hours. I have no fucking clue. But it could.
Yeah, 2 days. I'm just saying the same shit you are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It probably could be manufactured in the U.S. in less than 24 hours. 3D printing out here. I mean,
no, you can't 3D print a fucking.
Sure, I'm making
airplane.
the assumption to the random people out there. Like, I don't know manufacturing. Elon Musk just learned manufacture whenever he built Tesla. You know, so
well, he doesn't know it. His people do. He doesn't know it.
No,
Anyway.
that's just what I was saying. Because what I was telling you, because you were sitting there talking about outsourcing. I mean, yeah, we outsource some of it, but I know a lot of a lot of like the engine parts and certain things like that are made here in the United States. Because I know like American Airlines where I live, they deal a lot with the engines to other planes. And the reason why I know we're a major supplier to the outside world is because before this whole thing with Russia kicked off, the Russian Antonov would land at our airport about every 3 months to pick up airplane parts.
How funny is that?
You know, the
That's why I
Russian.
say, but we're not innovating anymore.
Well, no,
That's
because
terrible.
yeah, because
if
we
we
started to
wanna
outsource
actually
it.
have an export.
Yeah, because
we
they
should
figured
be-
out they were your big companies were looking at their bottom line, and it was cheaper instead of paying somebody here. Like I said, and a lot of reason is because the part costs the same, but the labor that it goes to make it is cheaper over there than it is here. Because those countries over there, like China, Japan, and all them, they don't pay their workers like we do here.
They pay them like Nike prices.
So, I mean, that's a lot of things. The labor, the parts are still made the same, but the labor to make them is cheaper over there than it is here. So they're basically outsourcing labor. They're taking labor over. And those companies there work around the clock to make shit where we have strict regulations here on how much people can work. Commercial aircraft don't use liquid fuel. They compress.
I was looking
air
at the
electricity.
first one above that too. Wow.
No, I was talking about like jet fuel for like the big jets, like what would be in the supersonic, because you would have to use jet fuel for that.
Thermo 76. Sounds like you don't want to live in the United States.
Huh? Where'd you get that from?
Well, like he's anti everything.
What are you talking about? I haven't seen an anti anything in there.
Well, just everything is anti-government for sure.
Well, I'm anti-government, so I'm living in. I don't.
Yeah, what is the United States?
You need to. He's new to streaming, so he's still learning what people talk about in the chat. He's still new to that. So.
No, I mean, I know what the United States is.
Again, it's called sarcasm.
I know. So, and I can have the same. You don't know me that well either, do you?
Yeah, I'm pretty due. You're about, especially when you get about 20 beers in.
I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6
left out of a 35 pack.
I wish there were 35 packs. That would be a lot better.
No, so there are 50 packs.
That would be even better.
No, but what I'm saying, yeah, because I mean, the biggest thing is like, what the reason why they outsource is because it costs cheaper to make, not the part itself, but the labor involved in it.
Is the Constitution a slave document?
Well, and if that case, there's no country that's free because you need permission to say what you in every country. There's not a free country in this world, then. But nobody needs. I don't ask permission to say what I want to say.
Yeah,
if they don't like it, they can leave.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
I mean, I say what I say when I want to say it and how I want to say it. It might disturb somebody sometimes, but I'm sorry, I'm old school. I'm a fucking Gen Xer, dude. We said what we said when we wanted to say it and how we said it. I know. I think I corrupted Frank a little bit about that in the beginning because he's like down on my level now. He says what he says when he wants to say it and how he wants to say it.
I've learned not to give a fuck about other people's opinions. If you don't believe what I got to say,
get effed.
So be it. Because guess what? We're all fucking learning.
The only slave to the system I am is I need that fucking paycheck. I do agree. I am a slave to the system in that aspect.
Unfortunately, we all are, unless you are the system or are part of the system. Really.
Or you just happen to make it lucky and fucking win the lottery.
I'm gonna start playing the lottery.
But No, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit. I mean, no, I mean the world's fun. I still believe, you know, everybody's like, oh, I still think that the Hydrogen Collider is like our battery system. I really do. I think that controls time. I think well, time doesn't exist. Time is a figment of our imagination. It's a human made construct.
Speak
No,
your
seriously,
mind,
it is.
snowflakes. No, I'm laughing at what he wrote.
Oh.
Speak your mind, snowflakes.
Yeah, but the whole thing of time, the whole time is a hoax. Everything is because I'm saying everything is a man-made construct because we are taught things by people that thought they knew something and they made it sound good because nobody else knew it back in the day. You know, so, I mean, look at Freud. Freud was the same way. You know, he created all these theories and everything else, and all of a sudden we got to start believing them. Look at Dr. Spock and the baby thing. Everybody was like all down on Dr. Spock and how to create a baby. That went out the window a few years, you know, into the making. But you know, it's like everybody is a self-proclaimed. I don't present myself as self-proclaimed. People say I am, but I was just like, no, I just do research. I'm not saying it's true. You know, the way I come off, people think, you know, they get pissy and argumentative, but I'm not trying to argue. I'm just, my mind needs to have justification. My mind, that's just the way my mind works. I have to have justification on how something works, or I just don't understand. And everybody's like, oh, you need to change. It's like, dude, I'm 51 years old. I'm not going to change. I've only got 30 some good years left on this world. Why in the fuck would I change now?
No, you got 40.
I said good years.
Yeah, I guess the rest are shitting yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah, some young lady fucking wiping your ass, you know.
Hey, but that might be good years too. Some hot ass 21-year-old wiping your ass, be like, yeah.
They're sitting out here now using water,
yeah,
compressor washers. Bend over, old man.
Humble to the end.
The boudet is going to become a hypersonic boudet.
Thank you, Thermal 76, for all your insights. You are a fantastic individual, and we love it.
What a creation. But no, it's like I said, I know a lot of times that's the one thing is it's like a lot of times people think I'm argumentative, and I know I do come off that way, but I'm not in my head trying to argue the point. I'm trying to understand it, and when I try to understand it, it makes everybody think I'm arguing. And it's not that, it's just my brain's not comprehending. The wires haven't connected. And if it doesn't make sense, you're going to have to make it make sense to me. That's just plain and simple because...
Well, that makes sense.
That's like whenever, like, you and I have conversations, right? Like, that whole conversation about the air thing. I straight up blatantly told you, I am not the guy to talk to, and I don't understand it completely either. Hand up accountability. Listen, that's my favorite thing right now. Hand up accountability. I have no fucking clue. I'm just trying to reiterate this fucking guy that might be smarter than me. I have no fucking clue. Hey,
what is air?
Listen, I used arguing as a word, and truthfully, we weren't arguing. We were having a discussion. That was hand up accountability on that. So, like, you can have conversations that might sound like they're getting
real deep now. Not you, Thermo.
What is electricity? What is water? What is magnetism?
Hey, lay off the crack pipe.
It's all a figment of our imagination. We don't need no fucking air.
We're getting too much into that one.
The entire human race has tried to figure out what is the meaning of life from the very beginning.
Hey, Thermo.
The meaning of life is easy.
Thermo, I'm going to ask you a question.
Just be true to yourself and have fun.
Beer, good time.
Beer equal good time, poison. Yes.
These are all things I had to look into later in life.
Yeah.
I mean,
how old are you?
I mean, it's kind of, don't ask ages.
Yeah.
Beer is rotten vegetables. There's rotten vegetation.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
It depends on what beer. Some of it is actually Rocky Mountain goat piss.
Well,
great.
no, that's usually
That's what I
Corona.
like.
Corona is Mexican piss.
I mean, it's just like wine. Look at wine. You fucking
Bud Light is transvestite piss. That's
you
what I
fucking.
heard.
Dude, that's fucked up. That's like that. Now you cross the line.
I mean,
that
look
was
at-
too soon. Too soon.
I asked how old he was, but now you said that. Like, now that's fucked up.
Well,
Huh?
allegedly.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry.
Yeah, wine is kind of curious because you sit there and ferment a grape until the point to where it's like almost dangerous to you to drink, but then you drink it. Oh, he's one of us. Cool.
Oh yeah, we're the same age.
Well,
yeah,
close.
Well, close enough.
I got to deal with these youngins here. Smack them around a little bit, make them understand. Yeah.
You will understand my logic. And I have. I've started. I'm in the progress of.
Well, no, I mean, I trust me. I get it. My wife will tell you the same thing. She's like, you're just.
You're just an asshole.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what the
I mean,
label is,
mine-
if you want to
that's what
call it
mine-
that. And but you know,
mine
I don't
says
have a
every
problem
day.
with it. I
You're
know.
just an
I guess if you want to classify as an asshole just because I'm trying to logically figure something out so my brain can comprehend it.
Oh, that's the favorite thing for left wing people, dude. You are now a racist. You're homophobic. We've figured out words to call people because I can't argue your points.
You can't wear blue jeans now because you're a Nazi.
Yeah, you're a Nazi. Yeah, that's a new thing.
Have you not heard the Sydney Sweeney ad for American Eagle jeans?
No.
Well, she came out with American Eagle jeans, and all of a sudden now she's a Nazi because she's a blonde hair, blue eyed.
Oh.
And the commercial starts off as, you know, my mom had good jeans, my dad had good jeans.
Good jeans. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean that's stupid shit because she's also a fucking OnlyFans. Like she's just
It
trying.
had
to
nothing
get
to do.
publicity.
No, it wasn't her. Where the fuck are you
She
at?
didn't- Well, she didn't say it though. She does have an OnlyFans.
It doesn't matter. That's not the whole point of what the controversy is.
Yeah, I have an OnlyFans. Doesn't mean I'm posting pictures.
Really?
I have an
That's
OnlyFans
scary.
too,
That's even scarier.
but there's nothing on it.
No. It was for research purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I
kidding.
mean, mine was
Anyway.
for a podcast, but no, I mean, no, the whole thing. What you were talking about had nothing to do with Sydney Sweeney. Had nothing to do with their OnlyFans. Had nothing to do with that.
Well,
It had
that's
to do
what
with,
I heard on Rover's Morning Glory.
Well, they
were
lied to
talking
you
about
for
it
the first time. They
No,
lied to you about it.
No, they were talking about it and they were discussing it and like, why'd she do this? Like, you know how Rovers is. You've listened to it, and they were discussing it, and they're like, why would she do this? Like,
Oh,
Rover was
9/11?
saying.
Oh fuck yeah! That's too deep of a rabbit hole.
well, that's next Friday's podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not coming
yeah.
in on that. I'm not.
Why?
Because that's too personal for me to get into.
To talk about what happened.
Yep.
And the new fifth plane. There was a fifth plane now. Did you know that?
Well, I don't know anything about that, but that's one thing I don't want to talk about.
As your therapist, it's good to talk about it. It gets everything out in the open.
Yeah, that's good. I already did.
Why was you at 9/11?
I wasn't far away, and then my uncle died in it.
I'm sorry.
So
I watched it. I watched it happen live on TV.
I bet you did. I was about a mile and a half away with my landscape.
So did the
crew.
planes actually hit, or did the buildings implode, or how, come on, you were a mile and a half. We want to know the details.
When the
Or
first
you
one
sworn to
hit,
secret?
no, when the first one hit, I was out. I left. We were doing a landscape project, and literally, it's like, "You see us on TV?" I'm like, "How do I have TV? I'm doing your landscape work." She showed me on TV. I said, "Pack it up, boys. We're out." And then literally, we were driving out, We literally made
That's
it
a mile.
probably.
A mile. That's pretty damn close, considering one of
Well,
the jet
we
engines
were
actually flew a mile from the plane or from the
well,
tower.
we were like very close to the GW bridge. So like we literally made it within the last
Oh,
15 cars, 20
so
cars
you were just
before
trying.
they
You were
shut
just
off
trying to.
bridges.
I was just say you were just trying to hurry up and get back home so you get to your beer. That's what the problem was.
Well, I want to get the fuck out. I don't want to be locked in the city. Who knows how long you're going to be locked down for?
No,
Like, I'm
no,
not
it
staying
sucks your
over
uncle
in
was
the
there, but
city. Yeah. He died in the second World Trade Center towers.
but no. I mean, yeah, between Bush, Netanyahu, Israel, fucking Mossad, fucking, the dude that bought the Twin Towers just a few months before they went down, took a big ass terrorist, the first time it's ever had a terrorist insurance policy on it. Yeah, there's a huge conspiracy on it.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
My biggest question is, I still have the biggest question is like, what the fuck happened to the plane at fucking Pentagon? They said it disintegrated, but come on, dude.
Yeah, come on. You gotta have parts.
And they don't have they don't have the black box. They couldn't find the black boxes to the two planes that hit the towers.
Yeah, which are supposed to be impenetrable. Like no matter what happens.
But they found the black box. They found the black. They found the black box to the Pentagon one.
Yeah.
Now we already know what happened to flight. What was it? Flight 87 or whatever, or 57 that went down in that field. But the fifth plane supposedly was never took off because it was grounded. But supposedly it was being hijacked at the time, or getting ready to be hijacked after everything went down.
Well, I guess they fucked up, huh? They didn't let it get in the air.
But yeah, now some of the video recordings that people are analyzing, sitting there saying that there's too much regular conversation being on the two radio broadcasts that they have from the towers, that they're thinking now that one of the pilots might have actually been one of the hijackers.
It's potential.
I mean, if you hear their voices, none of them are really like, I
mean, I gotta find that.
Wait,
again.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this. I thought it was next week.
We can talk about it.
Leading
We
into
won't
it.
get into it, but
Yeah, it's a lead in.
it's getting late too.
You're already 3 hours past your bedtime.
Yes.
Frank.
But all right, with that, we're gonna bounce out of here.
care.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week, Frank,
Yes, sir.
or next Friday. But yeah,
Well,
look for
it's a-
more of these. I'm gonna be doing some more. I'm trying to figure out how to do at least a couple of more of these throughout the week.
You should do
Just on
some
random
more
shit.
interviews with just random people out there, man. This guy in the chat, if you want to come on,
But
you and Rebel, fucking hammer it down, buddy. Discuss it. It's good
I
shit.
did a
I love that.
podcast on 9/11.
yeah, come on next weekend. Come on and talk about 9/11.
Everybody's got a thought process, and the more people that discuss things that aren't mainstream, the better off we are as a human race, because
Do you have
people
a
feel subjected in some sort of manner. So it's always good to talk.
Do you have an X account?
Well, shouldn't he?
No,
'Cause
no
he's
X.
chatting.
Do you know what Discord is? Discord, okay. I will send you a message and give you a link. I don't know if I still do or not.
No.
No, I took it off because people were. I don't want just people. I'll DM you here in just a second. Where the fuck did it go? There it is. The hell you DMing me for? Oh.
I
Oh,
didn't
the
DM
Sean
you.
Ryan, the Sean Ryan show.
Yeah, Sean Ryan's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
like him.
appreciate. It's almost like Joe Rogan, but he doesn't like Joe Rogan doesn't shut the fuck up about the fucking.
Find the one. It's the blonde woman. I can't remember what her name is, but find that episode. She's an ex-CSI analyst, and she talks about all this shit that has happened. That they
I've
she's
seen
like
that
a contractor now. That they contract and they go through and they analyze all this shit.
Wait!
I
I'm
gotta
confused.
figure it.
Yeah, once you figure it out,
he's a
once you
guest. She's
send
a
it to
guest
me.
on it. She's a guest on his show.
Send it to me, bro. I love that because he just lets them talk. Fucking Joe Rogan doesn't let them fucking talk once they get on the fucking fight.
Well, Joe Rogan, like he's like me. He wants to know what fucking people are thinking. That's the reason why he tries.
I enjoy it, but then he starts talking about the MMA and all that. Like, okay, dude. Like, you got this person on talking about a fucking book. They don't really give a rat's testicle about the MMA. They just wrote a book about biology, and you sitting here talking about MMA. Fuck.
Thanks,
there's another
76. We enjoyed your comments. Have a
Yes.
good night, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Yes, and I'll get that link sent out to you here in just a few minutes.
And you guys say I'm the drunk one.
No, sir.
Look
That
how
was pretty
nice
good.
I'm being.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, that was pretty good, sir.
Where's she at?
You know?
They might have took it down because she was saying she was getting heavy and deep into a lot of shit.
Well, you don't got to find it now. Once you find it,
No, it's on my-
this
it's on my
week, I'll
mind, though.
listen to it.
And I'll send you that one and another girl. There's another younger girl that. Nice to meet you too, dude. Yeah, I'll get you that link sent out, and you can join us next week, and we'll deep dive into 9/11. Even though, oh, here it is. What's her name? That's her, but that's not the one I wanted. Oh, where'd it go?
I'll listen to it tomorrow morning while I'm mowing the grass and shit. Because that's where I tend to watch my podcast or listen to the podcast.
I'll say
Sarah
what?
Adams.
Oh, you just puke in your mouth?
Sure.
Hmm.
Want to smell my breath?
No. What time do you got to be at work tomorrow morning? 4 a.m.?
5:30.
Ooh. Ooh. Are you driving truck still?
Who?
No.
Oh, you got your hand up like you're driving truck.
Oh.
Yes, I'm driving a truck.
You just said no.
I lied. See how easy it is to lie to you?
Yeah. Oh, I knew. I mean, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this fucking trip done, bro.
This fucking guy. American
I'm
Truck
with it.
Simulator.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thermo, I will get that sent out to you here in a little bit, and appreciate the conversations and the
No, it's more like this. I don't want to do gang signs. I like Slayer.
You like Slayer. I didn't do my original opener, so you get to see the ending. Oh, wrong one.
Attention citizens. The cleansing of grievances has officially concluded. For the next few days, all harsh words and dirty looks must be set aside. Harmony, respect, and unity are now restored under the watchful gaze of the New World Order. All officials and citizens are reminded. Insults and withering glares are once again prohibited. The Bureau of Hurt Feelings is available for post-cleansing support. Let us move forward together, renewed and united. Thank you for your participation. Blessed be the New World Order.